Chapter 878. She turned on the faucet and washed her face with cold water. Su Peijian didn't even care about ruining the makeup on her face. She needed to think of a way to drive Ling Jing far away from her sight. Su Peijian hadn't thought of a way yet. When she returned to the room, she found that Ling Jing had said something to Xiang Kaiping, who was laughing her head off. She had known Xiang Kaiping for a few years, and it had been almost 2 years since she was released from prison. It was the first time she had seen Xiang Kaiping laugh so happily. Jing, I'll go and take a look next time I go back to Rong City. Okay. Ling Jing smiled brightly, but she looked at Su Peijian from the corner of her eyes. Su Peijian gritted her teeth and felt a little pain in her gums. Peijian, you're back? Come here. Su Peijian walked to the table and sat down. The shop was traditional Japanese style. The middle of the tatami was sunken. There was a table in the middle. As soon as she sat down, she heard Xiang Kaiping's very happy voice. I just realized that our house is only separated by a road from Ling Jing's house. Really? It wasn't like Su Peijian hadn't been to Ling Jing's villa before. His house was in 2 different directions from their previous villa. Yes. Don't you think it's a coincidence? Indeed. Su Peijian was expressionless, but she looked at Ling Jing with an ambiguous gaze. It's really a coincidence. That's what I said. Xiang Kaiping looked like she had met an old friend in a foreign land. She looked at Su Peijian, as if she wanted her approval very much. Auntie, when we go back, let's get together again. Su Peijian looked at Ling Jing coldly. She had just called her big sister. Why did she call her auntie now? She didn't know how Ling Jing fooled Xiang Kaiping, but Xiang Kaiping didn't feel anything wrong at all. Okay. Jing, you're really good. Few young people are so patient nowadays. Not at all. Isn't this what I should do? What should I do? Su Peijian sat there and watched the 2 of them talking happily. Her face became more and more gloomy. If Ling Jing really thought that she would compromise because of this, it could only mean that he didn't understand her. She would not compromise. Ling Jing would not get what he wanted. For the rest of the time, Ling Jing was very attentive. His attentiveness was just right. Xiang Kaiping would not think that he was overly flattering, nor would she think that he was impolite. In the afternoon, they would go sightseeing at the scenic spots. Ling Jing walked right up to Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, are you thirsty? Have a drink. It's not sweet. It's delicious. Auntie, the scenery here is pretty good. Let me take a photo for you. Auntie, look, you should go with your daughter. Even if Su Peijian didn't want to, Xiang Kaiping signaled her to stand with her and take pictures with her. She didn't smile much, but it didn't affect Ling Jing's performance. In the evening, the 3 of them naturally ate together again. Before Su Peijian could pay the bill, Ling Jing had already run to pay the bill. How can I accept this? It's okay, Auntie. I was going to eat alone anyway. Now that you guys are here, I can eat a little better. I should be the one thanking you. I'm really sorry. When we get back to Rong City, I'll treat you to dinner. Xiang Kaiping's words made Ling Jing's eyes light up. Really? Then I won't stand on ceremony. Auntie, why don't I treat you here, and you can treat me when we get back home? That's fine. Xiang Kaiping thought about it and said enthusiastically, my cooking skills are average, but I can make some snacks. When we get back to Rong City, you can come to my house for dinner. Okay. Thank you, Auntie. You're so nice. I believe that you're modest. Your cooking skills must be very good. Ling Jing flattered her without hesitation. Just look at me, and I know that you're someone who knows how to live. You're really good with words. Sure enough, Xiang Kaiping was overjoyed by Ling Jing's flattery. When Su Peijian and Ling Jing planned to return to the hotel, Xiang Kaiping was surprised to find that Ling Jing was in the same hotel as them. Ah, this is really fate. She turned to look at Su Peijian, but she didn't realize that such a coincidence was not fate at all, but man-made. Peijian, look, Jing is in the same hotel as us. Yes, what a coincidence. Su Peijian said the word coincidence through gritted teeth. Yes, what a coincidence. Ling Jing looked calm. I saw the introduction saying that this hotel is good. I didn't expect it. It's really good. It's very good. The environment here is very good and clean. The transportation is convenient, and it's close to where we're going. Xiang Kaiping had been listening to Japanese for the past few days and couldn't understand a word. She was overjoyed to meet someone who could speak Chinese. Su Peijian stood by the wall of the elevator and didn't want to say anything. Anyway, when she returned to her room, she planned to book a ticket back to China tomorrow morning. Or go somewhere else. As soon as she had this idea, Ling Jing looked at Xiang Kaiping and said, "Auntie, did you go to Qingshui Temple yesterday? Did you go to Tianlong Temple?" "All of them? I can't remember the name. Peijian took me there." "Then where are you going tomorrow, Auntie?" "Tomorrow? I don't know." Xiang Kaiping turned to look at Su Peijian. "Peijian, where are we going tomorrow?" "Tomorrow." Meeting Xiang Kaiping's sparkling eyes, she couldn't say those words. She twitched the corner of her mouth and said, "Let's talk about tomorrow." "Didn't you say we're going tomorrow?" "Nara." Su Peijian pursed her lips into a straight line. "I said we're going to the hot spring in Nara tomorrow." "Yes, we're going to the hot spring in Nara tomorrow." Xiang Kaiping repeated. There was a hint of joy in Ling Jing's eyes. "Nara. Nara is good. I read the guide before, and it said that the scenery there is also very good. I don't have a fixed destination. Why don't we go together?" "Okay." Xiang Kaiping didn't object at all. "That's good. We'll go together at the appointed time tomorrow. In that case, I won't stand on ceremony and accompany you." Ling Jing glanced at Su Peijian as she spoke. She stood there expressionlessly, as if she didn't see her gaze. Back in the room, Ling Jing's room was right across from them. Xiang Kaiping said again that it was fate. Su Peijian opened the door and motioned for Xiang Kaiping to go in first. "Mom, you go in and rest first. I have something to discuss with Mr. Ling." Meeting Xiang Kaiping's confused gaze, she twitched the corners of her mouth and forced herself to show a smile. "Aren't we going to play together tomorrow? Naturally, we have to discuss the route and so on. Don't you think so?" "Yes, we have to discuss it. Go ahead. I'll take a shower first." "Okay." Su Peijian watched Xiang Kaiping enter the door. Then she turned to look at Ling Jing. He was also looking at her. He opened the door directly, took a step back, and gestured for her to enter. Su Peijian looked at him coldly and closed her eyes. She didn't want to fight in the corridor like this, so she chose to enter Ling Jing's room. As soon as she entered, Ling Jing closed the door. Her body was pressed against the door by him. She didn't move. His eyes were eager. He stared at her for a long time, and finally lowered his head to kiss her. Su Peijian didn't even struggle. She just stared at him. Ling Jing's lips stopped less than a centimeter away from Su Peijian's lips. His breath was hot as he stared fixedly at her face. He didn't speak, and Su Peijian didn't speak either. Their eyes met, but the air was quiet. Ling Jing was unwilling to give up. He wanted to let go, but he couldn't. If he didn't let go, Su Peijian's attitude was obviously stubborn. He made up his mind, tilted his head, and kissed her lips. He was almost hissing. He was forceful, fierce, rough, and eager. Su Peijian's lips hurt, but she didn't even move. She just stared at him. Ling Jing was more and more unwilling. He just bit her lips lightly and didn't let go. Their lips met, and they were glued together. Su Peijian didn't even bother to push him. He was annoyed and used more force. Just a kiss wasn't enough for him. He raised his hand and clasped it around her waist. It was very cold in the capital. She was wearing a slightly thick woolen coat. Ling Jing's hand reached into the coat, then followed the hem of her clothes, and was about to go higher. At this moment, Su Peijian put her hand behind her back and grabbed his hand. He stopped for a moment, and his forehead was still against hers. He just stared at her. Su Peijian let his breath brush across her face, and her eyebrows didn't move. "Is it interesting?" Ling Jing's hand began to exert force. This woman, now he really wanted to rub her into his body. At least this way, they could always be together. "Is it interesting, Ling Jing?" "Yes." Ling Jing's evil nature rose. He raised his eyebrows and stroked her cheek with one hand. "It's interesting. How can it be boring? I came out to play with the woman I like and my future mother-in-law. Just thinking about it makes me happy." "Who are you calling mother-in-law? What do you think?" Ling Jing caressed her face. Her skin was so good that he had the urge to bite it. "Ling Jing, it's meaningless for you to do this." "It's meaningless. Can't you just make it meaningful?" "Impossible. Su Peijian was expressionless. Ling Jing, it's impossible for me to be with you. Why is it impossible? Ling Jing was very unconvinced. Didn't you say it? Have you forgiven me? Forgiving you doesn't mean I want to be with you. Su Peijian waved his hand away. These are two different things. But in my opinion, these are the same thing. Ling Jing, there's no point in you tormenting these things. I said I won't be with you, so I won't be with you. Even if you try to please my mother, it's useless. Ling Jing tilted his head and stared at Su Peijian. Why do you have to use the word please? In my opinion, this is not pleasing, but I think your mother is a good person. Chapter 879. She pushed Ling Jing away slightly and turned to open the door, intending to leave. Ling Jing grabbed her by the waist and trapped her between herself and the door again. Even if you think I'm trying to please you, that's also sincere. Su Peijian, don't associate all of my actions with schemes and motives. Can't I? You don't have a purpose? Su Peijian smiled, her eyes very gloomy. If you don't have a purpose, what you should do now is to get back to the country, not appear here. Yes, I have a purpose. My purpose is just to start over with you. Can't I do that? No. Su Peijian shook her head, her expression cold. I don't want to start over with you. Because we never started at all. Am I wrong? Su Peijian raised her eyebrows, her expression slightly cold. The two of us were wrong from the beginning. You were calculating, I was ignorant. Since the beginning was wrong, how can we start? Ling Jing was angry, but he couldn't refute. Seeing Su Peijian reach out to open the door, he still didn't give up. Is it so important how we started? Grabbing her hand, his eyes were full of unwillingness. Even if the beginning isn't good, we can make the ending better, right? It's not important to you, but it's very important to me. She broke free, opened the door and left. The moment she stood at the door and closed it, she stopped. Ling Jing, for you, you're used to being high and mighty. You think some things are natural, but I want to tell you, things in this world are not what you want. The door opened and closed. Su Peijian went to her room without looking back. When she entered the door, Xiang Kaiping had just cleaned up and was about to take a shower. How is it? Have you said it? Yes. Su Peijian squeezed out a smile. Xiang Kaiping was not Li Qinxue. She couldn't confuse the two people. Let's go to Nara tomorrow. The hot springs there are not bad, and there are a few good scenery. Okay. Xiang Kaiping was very happy. It's good to be with your daughter. The strong sense of pride in her words made Su Peijian swallow the words she wanted to say to return to China. Mom, go take a shower. I'm tired after playing all day. Rest early. All right. Xiang Kaiping went to the bathroom, and Su Peijian sat on the sofa in the room, looking out the window at the darkening sky. Although she had made it very clear today, Ling Jing would definitely follow her tomorrow. She didn't want Xiang Kaiping to find out, and she didn't want Ling Jing to feel proud. But what should he do now? When Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping woke up and went to the hotel restaurant for breakfast, they found that Ling Jing was there too. Jing, you're early. Xiang Kaiping greeted her warmly. Ling Jing had been rejected by Su Peijian yesterday, but there was no change in her expression at all. Auntie, you're early too. Xiang Kaiping wanted to sit down, but Ling Jing pulled out a chair for her. When Su Peijian was about to sit down, he walked behind her and pulled out a chair for her. Su Peijian just stood there and didn't rush to sit down. Instead, she looked at him coldly. Her attitude was so direct that even Xiang Kaiping could tell that something was wrong. Peijian. Su Peijian smiled and said, Nothing, Mom. I just feel very embarrassed. Yes. Jing is too polite. Xiang Kaiping smiled and was obviously very satisfied with Ling Jing. You make me feel embarrassed. How can that be? Ling Jing smiled and walked to the seat opposite them. One of the 3 joys in life is to meet an old friend in a foreign country. To be able to meet a Chinese in a foreign country, and a fellow countryman at that. This must be a great fate. Yes, yes. Xiang Kaiping nodded in agreement. Su Peijian didn't want to talk anymore. She felt that if things continued like this, when Xiang Kaiping returned to Rong City, Ling Jing would probably become her other son. Ling Jing didn't seem to be affected by Su Peijian's cold face at all. After dinner, She waited politely for Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping to pack up. They were going to Nara next. When Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping packed their luggage and went downstairs, they found that Ling Jing had already arranged a car. Peijian said yesterday, so I arranged the car. Ling Jing sat in the passenger seat and turned to look at Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, you can sleep for a while. It will take some time to go to Nara. You can rest in the car. Okay. Jing, you're so careful. Su Peijian twitched the corner of her mouth and looked out of the car window. She didn't want to answer. She didn't say it casually when she said she was going to Nara yesterday. She had already arranged it. Now she was just going 2 days ahead of schedule. However, when they arrived in Nara, she found that Ling Jing had other arrangements. She took them directly to a hot spring hotel. The environment of the hot spring hotel was very good, better than the one Su Peijian had booked. Su Peijian wanted to refuse, but yesterday, she told Xiang Kaiping that she had arranged it with Ling Jing. She had no choice but to stay here. After lunch and resting for a while, Xiang Kaiping was in a good mood and said that she wanted to go to the hot spring. There were only 7 rooms here, all of which had to be booked in advance. The hot spring was brought indoors. The small pool was steaming hot. Su Peijian's face was a little red from the steam, but it was because she was angry. She glanced at Ling Jing, who was planning to soak in the hot spring with them. While Xiang Kaiping was changing clothes, she walked up to him and stood in front of him. Ling Jing, there is a limit to my patience. What? Either you leave now, or I'll tell my mother directly what you've done. Looking at Ling Jing's somewhat stunned face, Su Peijian moved her body slightly closer to him. Her voice was very soft. Ling Jing, my mother only recognized me halfway. She's very protective of me. Do you think she'll beat you up with a broom if she finds out what you've said and done? Definitely. She knew, and so did Ling Jing. Ling Jing gritted his teeth and looked angry. Su Peijian, do you have to be like this? Yes, I have to be like this. Su Peijian really didn't want to see Ling Jing. I've already tried my best to control myself by tolerating you until now. If you continue to be like this, I can't guarantee what I'll say or do. By the way, I forgot to tell you that the one who hates to hear the words prisoner through labor the most is not me. It's my mother. Ling Jing's expression suddenly changed. He took a step back and looked at Su Peijian. Do you have to be so ruthless? I learned absolute from you as well, Yizichin said. Ling Jing's hands hanging by his side clenched into fists. He stared at Su Peijian's face and finally nodded heavily. Good, very good. You're ruthless enough. However, I don't have to follow you in, but I won't leave just like this. You can try. Su Peijian straightened her back, her eyes unwavering. Can I be more ruthless? After all, when it comes to ruthlessness, I can't compare to you. Again, the ruthlessness she had now was all learned from him. When Xiang Kaiping came out again, she didn't see Ling Jing again. She was still a little confused. Su Peijian stepped forward, hooked her hand, and led her to the room. Mom, we're both women. He's a man. It's not convenient. Let's go. That's true. Xiang Kaiping didn't think much and followed Su Peijian to the hot spring. Su Peijian's lips curled up. Ling Jing, do you think you can make me give in by pleasing my mother? Naive. Su Peijian didn't take a step back. Ling Jing had some concerns. The rest of the journey was the same. No matter how cold Su Peijian was, Ling Jing followed her. The only difference was that he finally knew when to stop. He didn't go further or do anything more to her. Su Peijian actually knew very well that with Ling Jing's unscrupulous personality, the reason why he didn't go further to harass her was because of his feelings for her. If he really didn't care and was selfish to the end, it seemed that she couldn't do anything to him. Su Peijian knew, and so did Ling Jing. However, they couldn't go further in the current situation. The two of them were in a stalemate, waiting to see who would give up first. Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping spent New Year's Day in Hokkaido. However, Xiang Kaiping was old and couldn't stay up late. After playing during the day, she went to bed very early. At 11:30 p.m., Su Peijian's phone rang. She was afraid to wake Xiang Kaiping up, so she quickly turned the phone to silent mode. The message was from Ling Jing. There were only 2 words on it. Come out. Crazy. Who cares about you? Su Peijian put the phone aside without thinking. The phone vibrated twice, and another message came. Come out, or I'll knock on the door and wake Auntie up. Crazy. Su Peijian gritted her teeth. She didn't want to talk to Ling Jing at all, but she was afraid that he would do it for real. If you don't come out, I'll knock on the door right now. Do you believe me? Su Peijian held the phone, wishing she could turn it into a hammer and hit Ling Jing. In the end, she didn't. Instead, she quietly got up and left the room. Outside, Ling Jing was already waiting. He looked at her and reached out his hand to her. Let's go. Su Peijian stood there motionlessly. The lights above the hotel corridor shone on Ling Jing's face. It made his facial features look a little gentle. However, she knew that it was just a facade. All the gentleness and kindness of this man was just a facade. When he was ruthless, no one could compare to him. Ling Jing, what do you want? I want to take you somewhere. Are you crazy? Do you know what time it is? I know. Ling Jing nodded, not affected by her cold eyes at all. 11:45. Let's go. He liked to be crazy. Su Peijian didn't plan to go with him. She turned around and took the key card to open the door. Ling Jing grabbed her hand and brought her to the other end of the corridor. Ling Jing, you can shout louder and wake all the guests up. Su Peijian really wanted to, but she wasn't as shameless as Ling Jing. She couldn't do it. Not to mention that Xiang Kaiping was still sleeping inside. Ling Jing completely understood her scruples. He buckled her waist and said, maybe if you shout louder and wake Auntie up, she will know our relationship. Chapter 880. Su Peijian thought that Ling Jing was going to take her to his room, but that was not the case. The hotel they were staying in now had a very large courtyard behind it. The courtyard was well decorated. When they went down to the first floor, a staff member on duty came over and asked if they needed help. After Ling Jing refused, he took Su Peijian directly to the back door of the hotel. Standing at the entrance of the courtyard, Su Peijian didn't know what Ling Jing wanted to do. But no matter what he wanted to do, she refused to go out. She tightened her coat. It was very cold here at night. But soon she was not cold anymore. Ling Jing hugged her. He was very tall, and she was tightly wrapped in his arms. She couldn't break free, and could only let him hug her. The cold wind outside that blew on his body was blocked by him. But Su Peijian didn't appreciate it. There were rattan chairs for guests to rest on next to the courtyard. Before Su Peijian could struggle, Ling Jing had already taken Su Peijian to sit on the rattan chair. Su Peijian almost wanted to get up as soon as she touched the chair. But Ling Jing pressed her down again. Stay with me for 20 minutes. 20 minutes will be enough. I refuse. You can choose to sit here voluntarily, or you can choose to be forced to sit here. Ling Jing held her waist and played a rascal. But the result will be the same. Ling Jing, I really didn't know that you could be so shameless. I will take this as a compliment. No matter what she said, Ling Jing didn't let go. Su Peijian glanced at him and took a long breath. Okay. I won't leave. 20 minutes, right? I'll wait. Ling Jing's hand was still on her waist. She almost couldn't control the expression on her face. Ling Jing, I already promised you that I won't leave. What else do you want? I know. As Ling Jing spoke, he hugged her and pressed his chin against her neck. But I haven't hugged you for a long time. Su Peijian's body was stiff, but she didn't move at all. Ling Jing let go. Just for a while. Just for a while. Ling Jing wrapped his arms around her waist and hugged her tightly. It's so cold. Don't you think it will be warmer if we hug each other? It's also warm when I sleep in the hotel room. But I think your body is warmer. Su Peijian resisted the urge to lose her temper, and was about to push Ling Jing away when she heard his voice. 5 minutes left. What? New Year. Ling Jing stepped back a little, and took her into his arms. It will be a new year in 5 minutes. Su Peijian was stunned. She didn't expect Ling Jing to find her for this purpose. However, so? You won't let me sleep just because it's almost New Year's Eve? Yes. Ling Jing nodded. Last year during the New Year's Eve, you abandoned me and ran away. Make up for it this year. Su Peijian didn't say anything. She had just brought him back to Rome Garden during the New Year's Eve. She thought he was just a hooligan, so naturally, she wouldn't pay much attention to him. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have picked him up in the first place. As if knowing what she was thinking, Ling Jing placed her chin on the top of her head and gently rubbed it. Su Peijian, I'm very happy that you were the one who picked me up last year. Is that so? But I regret not letting you fend for yourself in that alley. She said it quite bluntly. Ling Jing wasn't angry. I heard that if two people kiss during the New Year's Eve, they can be together for the rest of their lives. Ling Jing's words made Su Peijian's eyes widen. It was too late to escape. Someone was counting down in the distance. When the last zero was counted, Ling Jing kissed her lips. At the same time, countless fireworks bloomed in the sky. Su Peijian was stunned for a moment. At that moment, Ling Jing deepened the kiss. It was extremely gentle and extremely lingering. He never let Su Peijian move away from his arms, nor did he let go of her at all. In the sky full of fireworks, Ling Jing ended the kiss. He looked up at the sky and then looked at Su Peijian. Happy New Year. Su Peijian didn't reply to him. She looked at the gorgeous sky, and she couldn't tell what she was feeling. She didn't speak, and Ling Jing didn't speak either. He just held her and quietly admired. Maybe it's a little cliché, but it's New Year's Eve. I can't think of anything better. Maybe you can tell me. I'll prepare whatever you like. Su Peijian didn't say anything. How would she know what she liked? She was in a state where she had no desires. She didn't care about anything, and she didn't care about anything. In fact, she found out a long time ago that she could never find the enthusiasm she used to have. And she couldn't go back to the past when she was ambitious. Peijian. Su Peijian didn't look at him. She watched another firework explode in the sky, bringing a brilliant scene. Her voice was very cold. Whatever I like, it won't be you. There was a flash of sadness in Ling Jing's eyes. Su Peijian naturally didn't see it, but she could feel the low pressure coming from beside her. 20 minutes are up. I'm going back. She felt a tightness on her wrist, and her footsteps stopped there. Ling Jing pulled her body and looked at her with a somewhat fervent gaze. Is your heart so hard? The light of the fireworks shone on her body, casting a long shadow in front of her. Su Peijian didn't look back. She pulled her hand out bit by bit, and her voice was extremely cold. Yes, my heart is so hard. It's useless for you to do anything, and you don't have to do anything anymore. Ling Jing, I'll say it again. No matter what you do or how you do it, I won't forgive you. I won't. I won't be with you. I won't. Don't do these useless things. Su Peijian tightened her coat and left without looking back. The fireworks were still going on, but Ling Jing was no longer in the mood to enjoy it. She should have seen through it a long time ago. Was it really true that someone couldn't live without someone? Su Peijian told herself to let go of this matter and not take it to heart. In the future, what happened to Ling Jing was none of her business. After the annual party, it was the new year. This year, she still had to spend the new year with Xiang Kaiping. However, on the day before New Year's Eve, she went to see Su Qinghui. Because Su Qingsang and Su Peijian were both here, Su Qinghui bought a property here. Su Yusen was also on winter vacation, and Old Master Li also came over. Su Qinghui knew that Su Peijian was going to spend New Year's Eve with Xiang Kaiping, so they had a reunion dinner a day in advance. In addition to Old Master Li, Li Qianxue, Su Qinghui, and Su Yusen, there were also Su Qingsang's family of 4. The 2 children were 2 years old. They were at the age of cuteness. They were learning to speak and looked very cute. Su Peijian had prepared early and gave each of the 2 children a big red envelope. She didn't care about the amount of money, as long as it was the thought. In the end, Old Master Li and Li Qianxue gave her red envelopes instead. They are not married, so they are considered children, Li Qianxue said. Looking at the few red envelopes in her hand, Su Peijian's eyes were a little hot. In fact, this was very good. She had both sides of the family, both sides of the care and love. She had family, career, love, and so on. It really didn't matter. New Year's Eve. This was a day for family reunion. However, for Ling Jing, it didn't matter whether it was a reunion or not. Every New Year's Eve was the same. Every year, it was the same people, the same things. Back and forth. The trivial things were tossed around again and again, wishing that they could be tossed around from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. He sat in the extremely luxurious living room of the Ling family, watching the eldest, second, third, and fourth children surrounding the old man, trying their best to flatter him. He felt disgusted. It wasn't just disgusting. It was also boring. It was the same show every year, and he was tired of watching it. Chapter 881. Ever since he was young, Lu Xian had always been worried about this son of hers. This was her only child, and to her, this child was the most important to her. But she didn't know when it started. But Ling Jing wasn't close to her, let alone Ling Xian. It was good enough that the father and son didn't turn against each other. Ling Jing didn't want to take over the business of the Ling family. But the more he didn't want it, the more the old master liked it. Ling Jing made a fuss last time, and Ling Xian gave him more work. This made his face very ugly. It was the new year, but he sat there like he was asking for a debt. Lu Xian called him a few times, but he didn't hear her. Ling Xian was angry. What's with your attitude? It's the new year. Who are you putting on that face for? Ling Jing finally came back to her senses and looked in Ling Xian's direction. He was looking at her too. Not only Ling Xian, but also his illegitimate children. There were 5 of them. There was even an extra judge for a mahjong table. Speaking of which, the situation of the Ling family could be considered complicated. It was the current head of the Ling family, Ling Xian, who was also Ling Jing's father. When he was young, he was very dissolute and playful. After all, the Ling family had a strong background. To be able to give birth to a child like Ling Jing, Ling Xian's looks were naturally not bad. Ling Xian was very dissolute. It was fine if he was dissolute. He didn't pay attention. When he was happy, he wouldn't think about taking precautions. So before he got married, these illegitimate children were born one after another. In just a few years, Ling Xian gave birth to 5 children. The eldest was Ling Cheng, the second was Ling Hong, the third was Ling Yu, the fourth was Ling Han, and the fifth was Ling Fei. Not only were all 5 children boys, but the mothers of all the children thought that they had given birth to the children of the Ling family. So they had the chance to marry into the Ling family and become the matriarch of the family. However, even though Ling Xian was playing around, he was still very clear about the things that he had to understand. Although he liked all these women, he didn't plan to marry any of them. He was just playing around. Giving the children an identity and raising them in the Ling family was already a sign of his responsibility. With this premise, no matter how hard those women tried to enter the Ling family, none of them succeeded. And Ling Xian was also satisfied with this kind of life. Until she met Lu Xian. Who was Lu Xian? She was born into a wealthy family. But in the end, with her own hard work, she fought her way through the entertainment industry and finally became a double Best Actress. Ling Xian accidentally bumped into Lu Xian when he attended the award ceremony. It was shocking. They started a crazy pursuit. In Ling Xian's eyes, there was no woman he couldn't get. Unfortunately, Lu Xian did not fancy him at all. Not only did she not like him, but she also despised him. Especially after knowing that he had 4 illegitimate children before he got married. She did not like Ling Xian at all. But things in this world were really strange. The more Lu Xian disliked Ling Xian and disliked him, the more he liked Lu Xian, and the more he wanted Lu Xian to see him. As the head of the Ling family, Ling Xian had both money and status. Chasing after a woman was a piece of cake for him. He felt that it couldn't be any easier. However, he had never expected that he would end up kicking an iron plate at Lu Xian's hands. Lu Xian, as the newly crowned Best Actress, had a lot of contracts and film contracts in her hands. She did not lack money at all, and did not need to marry into a rich family to make her look good. Especially for a man like Ling Xian, who had an illegitimate child before he got married. She despised him even more. However, she didn't like Ling Xian, but Ling Xian wanted Lu Xian desperately. All kinds of pursuits, all kinds of tricks, all kinds of methods that a man could use to woo a woman had been used. But Lu Xian was unmoved. Later on, Ling Xian's rival found out that he liked Lu Xian. His rival kidnapped Lu Xian and made Ling Xian choose to give up the European air route and some of the businesses under his name. Lu Xian thought that she had always been cold to Ling Xian. Even if Ling Xian liked her, how could he give up his career for her? But she did not expect that Ling Xian would really do it. He signed the contract and transferred it. He did not even frown. If I, Ling Xian, can't even protect my own woman, what use do I have for money? Just like that, Ling Xian moved Lu Xian. She finally nodded and agreed to his pursuit. However, agreeing was one thing, and being together was another. Considering Ling Xian's previous bad record, Lu Xian was not willing to believe him, so she had not agreed to marry Ling Xian until now. They did not hold a wedding, nor did they go to get a certificate. But this did not affect Lu Xian's position in Ling Xian's heart. He had announced early on that Lu Xian was the Ling family's mistress, and Ling Jing, who was born by Lu Xian, was the only heir of the Ling family. This was also the reason why Ling Jing was born out of wedlock. But in the Ling family, he was an existence that no one dared to offend. Even so, because Lu Xian had never agreed to marry Ling Xian, Ling Jing's status was higher than his 5 brothers. But the other 5 were not convinced. They were all illegitimate children, so who was nobler than the other? They were not convinced by Ling Jing. Especially after Ling Jing took over a lot of the family's business, they became more and more jealous. Ling Jing was protected by Ling Xian, and Lu Xian doted on him. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was favored by the heavens. But he had everything, but he was still not satisfied. He always acted as if he did not want it. How could he not make his 5 brothers angry? At this moment, when Ling Xian reprimanded, the eyes of the others followed and looked at Ling Jing. Although they did not show it on their faces, the gloating in the eyes of the 3rd and 4th brothers was still obvious. Ling Jing sat there and looked at the big family. There was no joy of the new year in his eyes, nor was there any joy of reunion. He only felt sick, very sick of the taste. Looking at the faces of his brothers, his hostility at this moment was unprecedentedly heavy. Who are you showing your face to? Am I showing my face? He raised his eyebrows, looking unrestrained and unrestrained. There was an obvious provocation in his evil eyes. What's wrong with me showing my face? Can't I show my face? Ling Jing, last year. Ling Jing suddenly stood up and pointed to his chest. I was stabbed here. Right here. He tore off his clothes, revealing his muscular chest and the obvious scar on his chest. Lu Xian's eyes widened. The fact that her son was injured had been hidden from her, and she had never known. Her lips trembled. She wanted to say something, but she could not say it. Ling Xian sat there. He looked at Ling Jing and naturally saw the scar. It was at the position of the chest. It was so long, if it was a little deeper. Ling Jing who? Who? Ling Jing laughed. He casually pulled his clothes back and glanced at his 5 brothers, who seemed to be brothers. I know who did it, but I won't say it. But looking at you now, I feel very disgusted. You make me sick. The living room was quiet. The 5 brothers looked at each other, but no one spoke. Ling Xian also guessed some things, but he dared not believe it. Impossible. They were all his children. He had said it long ago. What's more, it was already a gift for him to bring these children back and raise them. Not to mention that although they did not get as much as Ling Jing, it was not bad either. Brothers and sisters? Brothers and sisters? Bah! Ling Jing spat and did not hide his emotions. Really? I am so disgusted with you. Ling Jing, it was the new year. Couldn't they do this on another day? Ling Xian wanted to stop him, but Ling Jing did not give him a chance. What brothers? They are just a group of brothers who can't wait for me to die. Lu Xian was the first to react. She felt sorry for her son, but today was the new year. Jing, don't say it. Why don't you let me say it? I want to say it. You like to fight. You like to fight. Fight for it yourself. I don't like it. I will tell you now. I don't like this old man's family business at all. As he spoke, he turned to look at Ling Xian. His suppressed emotions reached its peak at this time. Old man, let me tell you. Do you think I will starve to death without your family business? Do you think I can't live if I don't want to be the young master of the Ling family? Let me tell you, it's impossible. Ling Xian's face was ugly. He covered his chest with one hand, obviously angered by Ling Jing. But Ling Jing did not care. You can give these assets to whoever you want. Don't force me to come back and pretend to be a brother. I am disgusted. The other 5 brothers all shrunk their heads, and no one made a sound. Ling Xian stood up and slammed the table. Ling Jing, that's enough, right? I hereby announce that I don't want your property. I would rather go out and be a gigolo than inherit your family business. So old man, you can put away your act. And you guys, stop acting in front of me in the future. I am disgusted. Ling Jing. Ling Xian was furious. Ling Jing did not want to stay. After returning from Japan, the Ling family had been fighting openly and secretly. He had encountered more than 1 backstabber and 2 car accidents. Because it was not safe around him, he did not even go to Su-Peision. But he had enough of such a life and was tired of it. He did not want the identity of the young master of the Ling family. He did not want the Ling family's property. He only wanted one thing now, and that was to return to the former Rhone garden and stay with that woman. He only wanted her. He even missed the time when he was really a gigolo for her. The first half of his life was boring. Only during that period of time, he was really happy. He did not need to be the young master of the Ling family. He was just Ling Jing, a man who was liked by Su-Peision, and also a man who liked Su-Peision. Jing, where are you going? Seeing that Ling Jing was about to turn around and leave, Lu Xian finally couldn't help but ask. No matter what happened in the past, his attitude now was really too willful. No matter what, today was the new year. To go where I want to go. Chapter 882. Stop. Ling Xian was furious. Ling Jing, do you know what day it is today? Do you know what you're doing? Ling Jing didn't look back. His face was full of an indifferent attitude. I have such an attitude. Don't be angry. Anyway, you have 5 sons. You don't need me. After saying this, his figure had already disappeared from the restaurant. Ling Xian stared at his back, fuming with rage. Lu Xian originally wanted to chase after Ling Jing, but in this way, she couldn't catch up. Don't be angry. You know this child. It's good that you're gone. Get lost. Ling Xian's temper flared up. Don't come back if you dare. Lu Xian sighed in her heart. Such an aggressive personality. It was really exactly the same. Su-Peision learned how to make dumplings from Xiang Kaiping. However, her skills were really not that good. The dumplings she made were not as good as Xiang Kaiping's. Not bad. Your skills are better than last year. Xiang Kaiping did not forget to compliment her, which made her feel embarrassed. After all, although the dumpling she made wasn't cooked to the point of looking like dumpling wrappers, it was still really ugly. Xiang Kaiping's handbag was really beautiful. It's fine. Anyway, it's just the 2 of us. We'll eat it into our stomachs. Who cares? That made sense. Su-Peision nodded. She didn't forget to watch Xiang Kaiping's movements from time to time, trying to learn from her. She was willing to learn, and Xiang Kaiping was willing to teach. Like this, and then like this, and finally like this, see? Pinch it in the middle like this. Squeeze it a little tighter. That way it will look better. Alright. Got it. Su-Peision continued to wrap it up nicely. Xiang Kaiping talked about some of the new happenings in the neighborhood. There were also benefits to coming here. There were more people than before. There was also a square dancing place in front. In the past, Xiang Kaiping was not interested. Now that she had nothing to do, she went there every night. After dancing for a few days, his body seemed to be in better spirits. He was also young and energetic. After all, there were more people of the same age in the neighborhood than in the villa. Just as the mother and daughter were chatting happily, the doorbell rang. Su-Peision was stunned. Today was New Year's Eve. She did not think that anyone would come to visit. Although she had told Su Qinghui about moving, Su Qinghui didn't know the specific address. She did not want him to come. When he saw Xiang Kaiping, she was afraid that they would both feel awkward. Xiang Kaiping was stunned as well. It was the new year, and the housekeepers had gone home for the holidays. Who would come at this time? Go and see who it is. All right. When she saw Ling Jing standing outside the door, she didn't have time to think about anything else. She instinctively wanted to close the door. Ling Jing held the door with one hand and didn't let her close it. I was driven out by my family. Su-Peision was stunned by his words, but she had no intention of letting go. Get out. If you don't go out, I don't care if you get caught or not. Ling Jing was much stronger than Su Peijian. With him holding the door, Su Peijian couldn't close it at all. I've been kicked out of my home. I have nowhere to go. Ling Jing looked at Su Peijian, thinking that if Su Peijian's heart softened, she would let her in. You've been kicked out of your home? Su Peijian sneered. Ling Jing, is this your new show? It's true. Ling Jing nodded heavily with a sincere face. I've really been kicked out. Peijian, I have nowhere to go now. If you don't take me in, I'll have to live on the streets. Who would believe that? Su Peijian was about to speak when Xiang Saiping's voice rang out. Peijian, who is it? Get out. Su Peijian wanted to kick her out, but how could she get past Ling Jing? He heard Xiang Saiping's voice and reacted quickly. Auntie, it's me. A Jing. A Jing. Xiang Kaiping suddenly perked up. She ran out of the dining room with dumplings in her hand. A Jing, why are you here? Why are you here? There was flour in her hand, but the smile on Xiang Saiping's face was very bright. She didn't doubt it at all. She had only said the name of a neighborhood. Why did she find her way here? Auntie, sorry to disturb you. I said that I would come to visit when I come back. However, there are too many things. I'm only free today. Ling Jing's attitude was very sincere. When she spoke, she even bowed with an apologetic attitude. Child, you don't have to be so polite. Come in. Ling Jing didn't look at Su Peijian at this moment. She only looked at Xiang Kaiping, the person who had wanted to squeeze and just now stood at the door and didn't move. Auntie, I suddenly came here. I didn't prepare a gift. He did come directly to Su Peijian's after leaving the Ling family. He knew that Su Peijian had bought a duplex house here. He didn't look for Su Peijian before, but it didn't mean that he didn't pay attention to her situation. He also knew that Su Peijian moved in with Xiang Kaiping after the renovation was done. After leaving the Ling family, his mind was filled with the urge to see Su Peijian. There was nothing else in his mind. Under such circumstances, how could he think of bringing a gift today on New Year's Eve? It's okay, it's okay. It's cold outside. Come in quickly. Ling Jing stood at the door and seemed a little embarrassed. Auntie, it's the new year. Is it too much of a disturbance? No, it's not. What are you talking about, child? Xiang Kaiping gestured for him to come in. Ling Jing took a long stride and walked inside. When he passed by Su Peijian, he winked at her. Su Peijian's face was very stiff. She watched coldly as Ling Jing entered the house again, and she couldn't do anything about it. Today was New Year's Eve. She didn't want Xiang Kaiping to be unhappy. The result of her forbearance was to watch Ling Jing follow Xiang Kaiping into the house, to see him follow her to the dining room, and to see him sit down next to Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, are you making dumplings? Yes. Do you want to eat? Look at this question. She was asking him if he wanted to eat or not. Did she want Ling Jing to stay for New Year's Eve dinner? Mom. Su Peijian couldn't stand it anymore. She looked at the time. It was 7:30 p.m. They just came to visit out of courtesy. They still have to go back for the reunion dinner. As she spoke, she glanced at Ling Jing. Mr. Ling, we don't have much to entertain you here. It's better for you to go back and celebrate the new year with your family. As soon as she said this, Xiang Kaiping felt that it made sense. Yes. A Jing, don't you want to go home to spend the new year with your family? Xiang Kaiping was very traditional. Naturally, she wanted to spend the New Year's Eve with her family. Auntie. Ling Jing looked aggrieved. I was kicked out by my father. I have nowhere to go now. What? Su Peijian tried hard to control her urge to roll her eyes. Xiang Kaiping, on the other hand, looked at Ling Jing nervously. How did this happen? It's New Year's Eve, your father. I made him unhappy. Ling Jing spread his hands. He always forces me to do what he wants. I don't want to. We just had a fight, and he kicked me out. Su Peijian looked at Ling Jing expressionlessly. She watched him lie as if it were the truth. This man was already used to lying. As the young master of the Ling family, he got whatever he wanted. Why would he be kicked out? Why did your father do this? Xiang Kaiping looked at Ling Jing, her eyes full of heartache. It's New Year's Eve. Why don't you apologize to your father? We'll see. Ling Jing shook his head. He's angry now. Nothing I say will help. It's better for me to come out and lie low. Maybe when he calms down, he'll be willing to listen to my explanation. That's true. Xiang Kaiping nodded, but soon, she became worried again. But it's New Year's Eve. If you don't go home, you'll... It's okay, Auntie. I'll find a hotel. A hotel. Xiang Kaiping's tone immediately raised Su Peijian's guard. However, before she could voice out her opinion, Xiang Kaiping had already spoken first. Staying here is better than staying in a hotel. No matter what, it's better than staying in a hotel alone during the New Year's Eve. Won't it be inconvenient? Joy flashed in Ling Jing's eyes. Unfortunately, only Su Peijian saw it. Xiang Kaiping didn't. Yes. Finally, Su Peijian didn't want to hold back anymore. She said without hesitation, "It's very, very inconvenient. You should stay in a hotel later." Peijian, you. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Peijian in shock. How can you say that? Mom. Su Peijian clenched her fists. We're the only two women in our family. It's really inconvenient to take in a man. The house is so big. She had no interest in the Spring Festival Gala, or the kind of programs that would be full of joy during the Spring Festival. Using the remote control, he found a film. It was a very popular documentary this year. It was about delicious food. Su Peijian sat on the sofa and looked very serious, until Ling Jing sat down beside her. When he sat down, she forced herself to ignore him. She wouldn't purposely move to the side to avoid him. That would make him seem important. She didn't want to give him the wrong impression. However, when Ling Jing put her hand on her thigh, Su Peijian couldn't bear it anymore. She raised her hand and hit the back of Ling Jing's hand hard. The back of Ling Jing's hand turned red from the slap. However, he refused to take his hand away. You're so strong. He leaned close to her ear. Why don't you do it here again? He pointed to his face. There was an obvious provocation in his eyes. Su Peijian bit her lip and really raised her hand. Her hand fell in midair and was caught by Ling Jing. He looked at her, then looked in the direction of the kitchen. You really hit her? Aren't you afraid that Auntie will see it when she comes out later? Her daughter was harassed by a pervert. What else can I do but hit her? Su Peijian looked at him expressionlessly. Maybe after I hit her, she will say that it was a good hit. This woman really made him hate and angry, annoy and love her at the same time. He stretched out his long arm and directly buckled her waist. He lowered his head and was about to kiss her. Ling Jing, if you stop messing around, believe it or not, I will shed all pretense of cordiality and call the police now, saying that you trespassed on my house. You won't. After saying that, Ling Jing moved his face closer. Because you don't want your mother to be unhappy. As soon as he finished speaking, their lips touched. She could only see his enlarged face. Anger began to gather in his eyes. As soon as she raised her hand, it was held behind her back by him. The situation of her hands being restrained made her whole body arch in his direction. The movement made Ling Jing smile, as if she was throwing herself into his arms. He couldn't help but deepen the kiss. The TV was still on, and the sounds of Xiang Kaiping busying herself could be heard from the kitchen. At first, Su Peijian gritted her teeth and refused to let him go deeper. But this damn man was simply too much of a jerk. He pinched her waist. It didn't hurt, but it itched. She couldn't help but loosen. And in such a short time, his snake had successfully broken in. Taking a step back would mean taking a step back at every step. Su Peijian couldn't resist Ling Jing's kiss. For a long time, he didn't taste her lips again. He didn't kiss her like this again, or hold her like this. Ling Jing almost didn't want to let go. However, he knew what it meant to know when to stop and when to stop. He let go of her, raised his hand and stroked her lips. His gaze was so deep, as if he could put her whole body in it. Peijian, his voice was close to a sigh. It felt especially sexy when her name came out of his mouth like this. Su Peijian's heartbeat was a little out of order. She suddenly pushed him hard. She sat at an arm's length away from him. Whether she admitted it or not, Ling Jing's kissing skills were damn good. His voice was the same. Peijian, Ling Jing called her again. Su Peijian glared at him, as if she had been electrocuted. She quickly got up and went in the direction of the kitchen without looking back. In the kitchen, the water had already been boiled. Xiang Kaiping was putting the dumplings into the pot. Mom, do you need help? Sure. Xiang Kaiping nodded. Set the bowls. Take out the cold dishes we bought earlier and serve them. I'll cook 2 more dishes later, and then we can eat. Because there were only 2 of them, Xiang Kaiping didn't intend to cook too much. But now that Ling Jing was here, she definitely had to add 2 more dishes. Okay. Dinner was not considered a sumptuous meal for someone like Ling Jing. The Ling family celebrated the new year like xishi eating. The table was filled with delicacies. But to Ling Jing, that table of dishes was not as good as the steaming dumplings in front of him. Come try it. Xiang Kaiping personally served a bowl of dumplings to Ling Jing. Auntie's cooking is average. You're welcome. Thank you, Auntie. Taking the bowl of dumplings, Ling Jing's eyes were a little warm. There were 5 illegitimate children in the Ling family. Including him, there were 6. Lu Xian was very good to him. But later, the old man got into a car accident. After the accident and injury, his health became much worse. Therefore, Lu Xian focused most of her energy on the old man. He was well taken care of by the servants every day. But no matter how well the servants took care of him, they were not his parents. He couldn't even remember if he had ever eaten a bowl of rice served by Lu Xian. Had he ever eaten a dish served by Lu Xian with her chopsticks? Child, why aren't you eating? No. I'm eating now. Ling Jing looked up at Xiang Kaiping with sincere eyes. Auntie, you don't know. My mother has never served me rice. Auntie, you're so nice. Xiang Kaiping was a very emotional person. As soon as she heard this, she suddenly became excited. Child, why are you so pitiful? She liked watching TV series, especially those domestic ones that were sentimental. Ling Jing's words made her imagine countless things. Then she thought of Ling Jing being kicked out of the house by his father. All of a sudden, she imagined a pitiful life that his father didn't love and his mother didn't love. Eat more. Xiang Kaiping looked distressed. No wonder you're so thin. How pitiful. The corner of Su Peijian's mouth twitched. If it weren't for her good upbringing, she really couldn't help but flip the table. Ling Jing was pitiful? Mom, don't be funny. He was not pitiful at all. He was the dignified young master of the Ling family. His family property was calculated by hundreds of millions. He had countless properties under his name, and he casually played with your daughter. Was he pitiful? Peijian, you eat too. Thinking that Su Peijian was unhappy that she only served Ling Jing, Xiang Kaiping quickly served Su Peijian a bowl. Su Peijian took the bowl and shot Ling Jing a glare without hesitation. Unexpectedly, Ling Jing's eyes seemed to be a little red, and it looked like she was really moved. The more he acted like this, the more Su Peijian felt uncomfortable and disgusted. How could there be such a man? It was really infuriating. It was really too much to act like this in front of Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, it's so delicious. Ling Jing tasted a dumpling and praised Xiang Kaiping's cooking. She praised Xiang Kaiping's culinary skills with great approval. Auntie, your culinary skills are amazing. It was indeed not the cooking of a famous chef, but the dumplings tasted more like home. Eat more if you like it. Xiang Kaiping sat down and thought of what Ling Jing said just now. She took a pair of chopsticks and picked up a few dishes for him, putting them in the bowl in front of him. Eat more. What a pitiful child. Su Peijian had a hard time holding back. She could only eat the dumplings in her bowl to vent her anger. She repeatedly reminded herself not to be angry, not to be angry. Ling Jing didn't deserve her anger on the new year. She didn't speak, but it didn't mean that Ling Jing wouldn't speak. She chatted with Xiang Kaiping about some of the customs of Rong City during the new year. Su Peijian had been in Rong City for 2 or 3 years, so she really didn't know much about the customs there. But Xiang Kaiping knew. The 2 of them seemed to have found a bosom friend, and they talked very passionately. Su Peijian once again became the background. No matter how she gave Ling Jing a sharp look, it was useless. After finishing the meal, Su Peijian wanted to chase Ling Jing away. Unexpectedly, Xiang Kaiping looked at her and said quite naturally, Peijian, clean up the guest room. A Jing can stay tonight. Chapter 884. Su Peijian stood there without moving. No matter how well-mannered she was, she couldn't take it anymore. He was a liar. After lying to her, He came to lie to her mother. He was full of lies and had never spoken a word of truth. What he said was false, and what he did was false. How could an insincere person stand here? Peijian. She stood still. Xiang Kaiping was confused. Go. Mom. She forced a smile. Su Peijian's voice was very calm. It's getting late. Maybe his family is waiting for him to go back. After all, it's the new year. It's fine after he throws a tantrum. After saying this, she turned to Ling Jing. We're family. There's no overnight feud. It's better for you to go back. My dad has a bad temper. He kicked me out. If I go back, he'll be even more arrogant. Ling Jing sounded like a child throwing a tantrum. I don't want to go back. Knowing that Su Peijian wanted to kick him out, he looked at Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, can you take me in for a day? Xiang Kaiping was very soft-hearted. She couldn't stand Ling Jing's look. She turned to Su Peijian and looked a little reproachful. You're too much. A Jing already said he has nowhere to go, and you still want to kick him out. It's the new year. What's wrong with letting him stay for a day? Go and clean up the guest room. Mom, go. Su Peijian was helpless. She glared at Ling Jing, turned around, and went to the guest room without looking back. When Su Peijian first renovated the house, the guest room was just for decoration. Anyway, the house was big and there were many rooms. She kept 2 as backups. It didn't matter if there was a chance to change it in the future. The 2 guest rooms had never been occupied before. The bed inside was empty. Su Peijian took out the bed sheets and duvet and stood by the bed. She couldn't swallow the anger in her heart. But how could she solve the situation in front of her? After leaving the guest room, she saw Ling Jing watching the New Year's gala with Xiang Kaiping. Su Peijian had never watched this kind of show. However, she had been worried about Xiang Kaiping for the past 2 years, so she sat by the side and watched. Ha ha ha. Xiang Kaiping had a low threshold for humor. She could enjoy watching any comedy or skit. Su Peijian sat on the other side of Xiang Kaiping. When she saw her, the smile in her eyes deepened. Peijian, you are here? Did you see that? So funny. The corners of Su Peijian's mouth twitched. She couldn't bring herself to smile. It's really funny. Ling Jing nodded. Su Peijian's worldview was ruined by him. This guy watches the Spring Festival Gala? Auntie, let me tell you, I never watched the Spring Festival Gala before. I didn't expect the Spring Festival Gala to be so interesting. It's true. It was indeed beautiful. You look better every year. Xiang Kaiping nodded, as if she had found a confidant. Look at this stage. It's much more beautiful than what we've seen before. Yes. The sky was getting brighter. Just like that, the day had passed. Today was the first day of the Lunar New Year. Xiang Kaiping was alone in Rong City and didn't have any relatives. But a few of her former subordinates still came to visit every year during the Lunar New Year. Those subordinates had become Su Peijian's subordinates, so she naturally had to be there. She got up in the morning and cleaned herself up, only to find that Ling Jing had already left. Su Peijian didn't find it strange. She didn't even ask Xiang Kaiping when Ling Jing left. Xiang Kaiping looked at her and wanted to say something several times. She didn't move at all. After entertaining the subordinates who came to visit, Su Peijian took some time to go to Su Qinghui's current residence in Rong City. She visited Su Qinghui and his wife and received 2 big red envelopes. Li Qianxue patted her hand, obviously very glad. Fortunately, you came today. We've already booked tickets to Australia tomorrow. Yeah. Su Yusin looked at Su Peijian. Sister, do you want to go together? No. Xiang Kaiping was still at home. She couldn't leave her alone to play. Su Qinghui's family was going on a trip, and she couldn't bring Xiang Kaiping with her. Next time then. Li Qianxue knew her current situation and didn't force her. It was unlikely that she and Xiang Kaiping would get along well. She felt uncomfortable when she saw her. She could tolerate Su Peijian because she had raised Su Peijian, but she was not generous enough to accept Xiang Kaiping. Su Peijian didn't stay long at the Su mansion and went back soon. She didn't see Ling Jing come back and breathed a sigh of relief. Until night time, there were still people setting off fireworks outside the window. Looking at the brilliant fireworks, she thought of the time in Japan when Ling Jing took her outdoors and gave her a fireworks ceremony. But so what? No matter how brilliant the fireworks were, they would eventually return to peace. Just like between her and Ling Jing. Ling Jing's absence made things convenient for her. Su Qinghui and his family went out to play. She also booked tickets and went out with Xiang Kaiping. Although she was used to the cold weather in Rong City, she still liked the relatively warm weather in the south. She stayed with Xiang Kaiping in Hainan for a few days. This time, Ling Jing didn't come with them. She tried a relatively relaxed and warm vacation with Xiang Kaiping and her daughter. Ling Jing didn't appear again until they returned to Rong City. Su Peijian couldn't tell what she was feeling. She was the one who asked Ling Jing not to come again. But when he really didn't come, she felt a little awkward and a little sad. In the blink of an eye, 15 years had passed. Su Peijian began to get busy again. She went on a business trip, and when she came back, she began to get busy again because of the previous project with Tang Mohan's company. In the blink of an eye, the first month passed just like that. One day, when she came home from work and passed by the bakery that Ling Jing had opened when he lied to her, she found that the sign had been changed. She was stunned, because Ling Jing had chosen this place as a place to lie to her. She didn't look at this shop every time she passed by. But she didn't expect that the shop would change its sign after a few days. The new sign was very popular. It was called Zhen Xian Baking Shop. It didn't sound as good as the previous English name. Strangely, she pulled over and got out of the car. She entered the Zhen Xian Baking Shop. The decoration and layout seemed to be completely different from the last time she was here. The staff in the same uniform were putting new products on the shelves. One of the cakes was very exquisite, with two very cute people on it. It was a man and a woman, and it was very small. She looked around, and finally decided on this one. "Pack this cake for me," Su Peijian said. Unexpectedly, the staff behind the counter shook her head when she saw which one she was pointing at. "I'm sorry, this cake was made by our boss. It's not for sale." "Not for sale?" "Yes." The staff nodded. "This cake was made by our boss for his girlfriend, so it's not for sale." "Is that so?" Su Peijian nodded. Then she didn't want to buy anything. She was about to leave, but someone walked out of the kitchen of the shop. "Pack that cake for her." Su Peijian was stunned for a moment. That familiar voice made her think that there was something wrong with her ears. She turned around and found Ling Jing standing there. He was wearing a chef's hat and white overalls. He was also holding a tray in his hand, which was full of cakes. He handed the cake to the staff on the side, walked in front of Su Peijian, and fixed his eyes on her. Chapter 885. This cake was originally for her. Su Peijian stood there and didn't move. She looked at Ling Jing, and didn't react for a moment. The shop assistant said that this cake was for his girlfriend. Ling Jing said that this cake was for her. When did she become his girlfriend? Did she admit it? Su Peijian didn't answer and didn't speak. Ling Jing looked at her. The shop assistant had already packed the cake and placed it on the counter. Su Peijian didn't reach out to take it. She glanced at Ling Jing and turned to leave. Ling Jing quickly grabbed her hand and put the box of cake in her hand. "Here." Su Peijian's hand shrank, and the cake almost fell to the ground. Ling Jing caught it in time. He looked at Su Peijian as if he was wronged. "Don't you want it?" "Who wanted it?" "She wasn't his girlfriend." Ling Jing held her hand and walked to a chair to sit down. The moment he held her hand, Su Peijian instinctively wanted to shake him off, but because they were in his shop, she didn't want to embarrass him too much in front of everyone. Ling Jing placed the cake on the table and gestured for the shop assistant to pour Su Peijian a hot drink. The shop assistant quickly brought a cup of hot cocoa over. Ling Jing placed the hot drink in front of Su Peijian. Ling Jing waved his hand, and the shop assistants went to the kitchen. One of the shop assistants even closed the door for them and hung the closed sign outside. "Peijian, what do you think of this place?" Su Peijian didn't speak. Ling Jing kept holding her hand. She wanted to pull it out, but he was stronger. "I've been thinking. The reason why you won't forgive me is because you think I lied to you. Later, I figured it out. If you think I lied to you, then I won't lie to you. You once said that being a baker is good. Now I realize that it feels good too. I've learned to make this cake for more than a month, and now it's beginning to pay off. Actually, I made mini before. But I think the taste is a little bad. So I didn't put it out every time I made it. And I never thought of giving it to you. The one you're looking at now is the best one I've made recently. Sue Pasian was silent. Her lips pursed into a straight line. The last time I went to your house, I didn't lie. I was really chased out by my old man. Because I told him that I would rather be your gigolo than inherit the family business. Sue Pasian finally looked at him. Ling Jing spread his hands. I'm serious. You may not believe me. But I'm really bored. You probably don't know, but my old man is my father. He has 5 illegitimate children. I am his youngest child. Speaking of which, I am also an illegitimate child. Sue Pasian furrowed her brows slightly. This time, she forcefully pulled her hand back, but she didn't leave. Instead, she picked up the cup of hot cocoa in front of her. Now that I think about it, it should be 2 years ago. When you saw me more than a year ago, I was betrayed by my most trusted subordinate. He took money from my good brothers, and after he betrayed me, he stabbed me. Sue Pasian had never heard him mention this before. She looked up at him, still expressionless. After I was betrayed, I met you. Although you saved me, I really didn't trust you. At first I didn't want to reveal my identity. Later, you actually treated me as a hooligan, a gigolo, and I was a little angry. So at that time, I really wanted to cheat you. But later, the more I spent time with you, the more I liked you. In the end, I realized that I couldn't let go of you. At that time, I was actually very afraid. Don't laugh at me. I was really afraid. I was afraid that you would hate me. And I was afraid that you wouldn't forgive me. That's why I made that request to you. I hope you can promise me something. You promised me. And I thought I had a gold medal to avoid death. But the truth is, I didn't expect you to bump into my mother looking for me in advance. That day, I wanted to explain it to you. But I didn't expect to receive those photos from that bastard, Hui Yifan. I was angry at the time. On one hand, I hate you and him. I hate that you still have contact with him. On the other hand, I don't really believe it. That you would give up Hui Yifan and choose a hooligan like me. I know that you're not that kind of person. But at that time, I really lost my mind. I'm sorry. Pasian, I admit that I didn't understand love before. Although my mother loved my father very much, she never agreed to marry him. She would rather let me be an illegitimate child than marry my father. And my father said that he loved my mother very much, but he openly let his illegitimate children jump in front of my mother every day. Those brothers of mine, on the surface, they were friendly and respectful to me. But in fact, all of them wanted me dead. They were jealous that I was born as the young master of the Ling family. And they resented that I was favored by the old man. They were even jealous that I had my mother's concern for me, because the condition for them to enter the Ling family was that their mother had nothing to do with them. With these brothers around, no matter how much my mother cared for me, she still cared about the other children's thoughts. Ever since I was a child, I have never received much love from my parents. I said that day that my mother never gave me a bowl of rice or a bowl of soup. I'm not joking, I'm serious. Maybe she loved me, but her love was too weak. Most of the time, I didn't feel it at all. She also didn't teach me how to love someone. I really didn't know. What is love? How do you love someone? Ling Jing said so much in one breath, and finally looked at Sue Pasian. I don't understand. I don't understand, so I lost you. I know that I didn't do a lot of things well in the past, and I admit it. So, can you give me a chance on account of the fact that I've already started to change? If you like me when I was a hooligan, then Pasian, I'm willing to be a hooligan again for you. To be the pretty boy you like again. If that's the case, can you give me a chance? Let me be with you again? Ling Jing's words were sincere. Sue Pasian didn't have any reaction. He had gotten the wrong direction. She had never liked gangsters, but Ling Jing, who was a gangster. I've been looking for you before. And I've been telling you that I want to start over with you. But you didn't want to. Pasian, if you don't want to start over with Ling Jing, the young master of the Ling family, can you start over with Ling Jing, the hooligan? Look, I can do as we said before. I'll be a baker. I can make dessert for you. Then you can help me open my shop all over the country. What do you say? No. Su Peijian pursed her lips into a straight line. According to Ling Jing, his family's situation was complicated enough. Under such circumstances, she didn't believe that Ling Jing's father would let Ling Jing fool around outside. Peijian? Okay. Don't ask me. That's your business. Su Peijian finally reacted. She stood up and said, do whatever you want. It has nothing to do with me. But I hope it has something to do with you. Ling Jing stood up as well. Didn't you tell me? Besides, I wanted to learn baking because of you. I said it has nothing to do with me. Su Peijian's words were obviously lacking confidence. She realized this herself, and couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. Thank you for the hot drink. And the cake, how much is it? I'll give you the money. Peijian. Ling Jing's expression suddenly became extremely aggrieved. Do you have to do this? The look in her eyes made Su Peijian think that she and Ling Jing had returned to the past. But they couldn't go back. This cake was originally for you. It was made for you by me. If you don't want it, then throw it away. Ling Jing seemed to say this in a huff. Su Peijian looked at him, and didn't throw the cake away. Thank you for the cake. Without saying anything more, Su Peijian picked up the cake on the table and turned to leave. Ling Jing followed behind her. Why don't you tell me? What do you want to do to forgive me? I really can't find a way anymore. Su Peijian, can't you just give me a quick death? Ling Jing, don't do these things. Don't be a baker. Don't waste his time here. He should go back to the Ling family, and continue to be the glorious young master of the Ling family. Then tell me, what are you going to do? I don't need you to do anything for me. The flamboyant, wild, and carefree Ling Jing was himself. He didn't need to be someone else. She didn't want to see Ling Jing like this either. Such a Ling Jing would make her unable to resist, would make her soft-hearted, and would make her want to let go. She wanted to give him a chance, and do it again with him. But, he pulled her hand again, and this time, she shook him off with much less force. No buts. Su Peijian hurriedly pushed open the door and left. She walked very fast, as if some monster behind her would catch up with her. So she didn't see the smile that flashed across Ling Jing's eyes. Su Peijian probably didn't even notice the loosening and struggle in her eyes. However, he noticed it. Ling Jing took off his chef's uniform, and casually took off his chef's hat, and put it aside. Looking at the shop in front of him, he wasn't in a hurry. The shop was already open, and he was just waiting for customers to come. Su Peijian passed by here every day, so he had a lot of opportunities. It was just a matter of time. He could afford to wait. When Su Peijian returned home, Xiang Kaiping asked about the cake. She casually said that she bought it when she passed by, and saw it looked good. She gave the cake to Xiang Kaiping, but she didn't want to talk to her at all. However, when Xiang Kaiping opened the cake and asked her to eat it, she should have refused, but in the end she still cut a piece. There was a very delicate fork inside the cake. When she ate the cake, the taste was not as good as that of a star chef, or even better than that of a bakery. However, this cake was made by Ling Jing. Chapter 886. This name turned over in her heart. Some sweet, some sour, and some emotions. She didn't even know herself. This cake isn't as delicious as the one you bought last time. Let's buy the one you bought last time. Not only could she taste it, but Xiang Kaiping could also taste it. Su Peijian didn't say anything. Up until now, Ling Jing has only learned for a month at most. How delicious can she bake a cake? However, this cake was made by Ling Jing, so the meaning was somewhat different. Su Peijian ate the cake without tasting it. Ling Jing was serious, wasn't he? Or was he serious? He was joking. He couldn't be serious. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Su Peijian reminded herself not to believe what Ling Jing said. However, the next day, she couldn't help but pass by the so-called Sincerity Baking Workshop again. The car was parked on the road. She could only see people walking inside, but she couldn't see if Ling Jing was inside. Realizing her actions, Su Peijian quickly left like a thief. When she arrived at the company, she told herself that she would never go there again. What about Ling Jing? Would he be a baker or a gangster? It had nothing to do with her, whether he was the young master of the Ling family, or a gigolo. Yes, that was it. Unexpectedly, Su Peijian received a package in the afternoon. Her secretary, Zhou, sent it directly to her office. President Su, there's a package for you. My package? Su Peijian looked at the time. It was 3:30 in the afternoon. She remembered that she hadn't bought anything online recently. Leave it. But this is refrigerated food. If you don't eat it, you have to put it in the fridge. Refrigerated food? Su Peijian had a very bad feeling in her heart. She asked Zhou to bring the package over. It was a small box and it was opened. There was a small box inside. A pink cardboard box. It was slightly cold. Su Peijian could roughly guess what was inside. She wanted to tell Zhou to take it out and throw it away, but she resisted in the end. She opened it. Inside was a small heart-shaped cake. The simplest mousse cake was made into a heart shape. The chocolate coating looked very appetizing. What a beautiful cake. Zhou looked at her. President Su, is this the afternoon tea you ordered? No. Su Peijian shook her head. If you like it, you can have it. Huh. Zhou looked at Su Peijian, picked up the piece of cake and left. Su Peijian watched as Zhou turned and left. She wanted to stop her, but she swallowed her words. The next day, someone sent another cake over. Apart from the cake being different, there was also a card. Dessert is only sweet in the mouth, but I hope I can be sweet in your heart. Sour. Where did this sweetness come from? Su Peijian stared at the card and threw it into the trash without a second thought. On the third day, there was a different kind of cake with a rose. The card attached was changed to, May your mood bloom like a rose. Su Peijian really shouldn't be surprised that Ling Jing could be in heat anytime and anywhere. Have you had enough? How can I? Ling Jing held her waist so that she could fully feel his desire. I can't wait to do you now. Ling Jing, let go of me. I said I won't let go. And I won't let go. Today you came to me on your own. Do you think you can escape? Are you crazy? I'm crazy. I'm going crazy because of you. Ling Jing buried his face in her neck, and his breath brushed against her cheek. Do you know? How does it feel to think about you every day but not see or touch you? You probably don't know. He bit her neck. Su Peijian shrank her neck in pain, but Ling Jing bit her again. Every day, I think that I should catch you and lock you up. I won't let you go anywhere, and I won't let you wear any clothes. The only place you can move is under me on my bed. Pervert. Su Peijian avoided his lips and stared at him, her eyes full of shock. Chapter 887. Turn his words into reality? Su Peijian's entire body began to tremble at the thought of it. She refused. Lunatic. Ling Jing was a lunatic right now. Drag. Are you crazy? Su Peijian struggled. This is illegal. Yes. Ling Jing looked at the mark on her stomach and couldn't help but bite it again, deepening the mark. But compared to being crazy and breaking the law, which do you think is better? Lunatic. Su Peijian looked up at him. Ling Jing, you'd better let go of me. What if I don't let go? Then I'll never forgive you. She knew that Ling Jing could do it. He could really kidnap her, lock her up, and not let her have her freedom. But if that was really the case, she would rather die. Ling Jing, if you really do that, I'll tell you. I'll never forgive you for the rest of my life. Never. Her powerful words made the teasing look on Ling Jing's face disappear. He stared at Su Peijian and slowly let go of her hand. Su Peijian took a step back as quickly as possible, and then straightened her clothes. Ling Jing looked at her face, which was avoiding him as if he were a snake, and laughed mockingly. Su Peijian. He suddenly called her name very seriously. You took the initiative to come to me today. You haven't forgotten, right? She hadn't forgotten, but it was because of this that she hated, was annoyed, and was angry at herself for falling into his trap. I like you, I love you, I want to be with you. What's wrong with that? There was nothing wrong, but she didn't want to believe him anymore. She didn't say anything, but Ling Jing understood what she meant. He nodded. Okay. You don't forgive me and don't accept me anymore. Is that so? Su Peijian didn't say anything. Ling Jing approached her and added, You'll never give me a chance again, right? Su Peijian couldn't answer this. In fact, she was very conflicted. She was just frightened by Ling Jing's words just now. Then you can go. Ling Jing turned around. You can leave now. Leave this place, and don't come looking for me again. Su Peijian couldn't believe that Ling Jing would let her go so easily. It was so easy that she stood there motionless. Su Peijian. Ling Jing suddenly looked at her, his eyes focused and serious. You said that you won't forgive me, that you don't want to be with me. So, I'm letting you go today. But if there is a next time, Su Peijian, I won't care if you forgive me or not. Don't even think about running away from me. What do you mean? Su Peijian blinked. When she realized what Ling Jing had said, her body froze. She didn't dare to move at all. This is the last chance I'm giving you. From now on, we will go our separate ways. You can leave now. That's it. Was it over? Su Peijian stared at him with her eyes wide open. There was a lump in her throat. She closed her eyes, turned around, and walked out without looking back. Ling Jing did not expect that she would actually not be reluctant to leave. Did you notice just now? He seems to have glanced in this direction. I saw it too. His eyes are so charming. Which company is he from? I don't know. But those who can come shouldn't be bad, right? Why don't we ask for his number later? You go and ask. Let's go together. Okay. His phoenix eyes are so charming. Yeah, I guess he must be very good looking when he smiles. And his figure is also very good. That's right. We must get his phone. Have more confidence. Although the conversation between the two women was very soft, Su Peijian still heard it because she was close. Did he look in this direction? Did he see her? Was he handsome? Indeed, she had to admit that Ling Jing had a very good appearance. Otherwise, why would she choose him in the first place? But so what if she chose him? He had nothing to do with her now. Su Peijian blinked. Everything was her own choice. She didn't regret it. If those women could chase Ling Jing away, it would be considered a good deed, so that he wouldn't harm others. Yes, that was it. The award ceremony was very boring. Su Peijian sat for a while, and her phone rang with a few text messages. When Su Peijian finished reading the text messages and looked up again, she found that Ling Jing's seat in front of her was no longer there. She was stunned for a moment and looked in that direction in a daze. After an unknown amount of time, the applause around her continued. She looked at Hu Jinyao, who was giving out the award, and suddenly couldn't stay any longer. She got up and walked outside. There were 2 exits in the conference center. She picked one of them and walked out. She had only taken 2 steps when her phone rang. A message came from the other end of the phone, and her phone almost flew out of her hand. What did you say? Say it again? Which hospital are you in? Tell me clearly. The 5th hospital? Where is the 5th hospital? Tell me. Su Peijian felt a headache coming on. She wanted to ask more, but the phone in her hand was taken away. Give me the address. Which floor? Which department? Okay, we'll be right there. She turned around and stared blankly at the man who had suddenly appeared. Ling Jing, who was wearing a white suit, stood in front of her. He looked at her with a serious expression. Let's go. The 5th hospital. Xiao Yi said that she is now in the emergency department. As Ling Jing spoke, he took 2 steps toward the door. Seeing that Su Peijian was still in a daze, he turned around, grabbed her hand, and led her outside. She should have shaken off his hand. Now the 2 of them had nothing to do with each other. However, Su Peijian was confused by the news that Xiao Yi had just brought. She really didn't know what to say until Ling Jing stuffed her into the car. You are emotionally unstable now. It's better not to drive. His faint voice seemed to be explaining. Su Peijian didn't know what to say. The car drove to the hospital. She was very nervous and worried. Xiang Kaiping had just been in a car accident. She had been hit by a car. She didn't know what was going on now. She just felt very worried. Don't worry, Auntie will be fine. Su Peijian couldn't say anything. She looked in front of her and wished that the car could go faster. Ling Jing didn't let her down. The car arrived at the 5th hospital at the fastest speed. She rushed out of the car as soon as it stopped. Ling Jing followed behind her. Where is the emergency room? Tell me, where is the emergency room? Calm down. Ling Jing followed her and pressed her shoulder. He turned around and looked at the frightened but understanding nurse. Excuse me, where is the emergency room? That way. The nurse was fine. She had seen many anxious family members like this. Just turn right from here. Thank you. Ling Jing nodded. and then led Su Peijian in the direction of the emergency department. When they went to the emergency department, they said that the patient had been sent to the operating theater. Ling Jing and Su Peijian rushed to the operating theater upstairs. A middle-aged man was waiting at the entrance of the operating theater. The other was the nanny hired by the family Xiao Yi. Su Peijian rushed up when she saw Xiao Yi. "How is my mother? Is she okay?" "I don't know." Xiao Yi was also scared. "The doctor is checking on Auntie Xiang now. I don't know what will happen." Chapter 888. He was the one who hit her. At that time, Xiaoya still wanted to say something, but Su Peijian had already glared at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was startled by Su Peijian's gaze. He was wearing the uniform of a taxi company, and it was obvious that he was a taxi driver. "It's not my fault." She dropped the things she bought on the ground. She suddenly rushed out to pick them up, and I couldn't stop in time. The driver was wronged. If he hadn't seen Xiang Kaiping fainting from the pain, he would have thought that he had encountered a scammer. He had just sent the guest off, and had just started walking when he hit Xiang Kaiping. He drove so slowly, but Xiang Kaiping fell down just like that. What else could it be if it wasn't a scammer? But who knew that when he sent her to the hospital, the doctor would directly say that he was ready for surgery? He had been detained here by Xiaoya and refused to let him go. He still felt very wronged. "It's like this." Xiaoya quickly grabbed the agitated Su Peijian. "The weather is good today. I said that I would go out to buy groceries. Aunt Xiang said that she was bored and wanted to go with me. Then, when we passed by the fruit stand, Aunt Xiang saw that the oranges were very good and said to buy some. However, when we walked back, we were going to take a taxi, but the bag that Aunt Xiang was carrying was somehow torn. A few oranges rolled onto the road. I said that I would pick them up, but Aunt Xiang ran one step ahead of me. Then she was hit. It really has nothing to do with me." The middle-aged man waved his hand. "I drive very slowly. Didn't you hit someone even if you drove slowly?" Xiaoya was furious. Just now, when they entered the hospital, the driver still wanted to run. It was she who kept holding him. Su Peijian didn't care. At this time, she couldn't calm down at all. "You'd better pray that my mother is fine. Otherwise this will not end." The middle-aged man had a bitter look on his face. He couldn't help but look at Ling Jing. "Little brother, persuade your wife. It's really not my fault. I'm just a taxi driver. I have no money." Hearing the word wife, the corners of his mouth rose a little. Su Peijian glared at the driver. "Who are you calling his wife?" "Not wife." The taxi driver nodded. "That's good. You're so fierce. What did you say?" "Say it again." "You hit my mom, and you're still in the right?" All right. Ling Jing looked at Su Peijian and nodded at the middle-aged man. He turned to look at Su Peijian and patted her on the shoulder. "Calm down. Auntie will be fine." Su Peijian couldn't calm down at all. She glanced at Ling Jing and stopped talking. However, she sat there in a very bad state. Her face was full of anxiety. "Sister Su." Xiao Yi was a little frightened. Just now, she only cared about holding on to the driver to prevent him from running away. She didn't pay attention to the doctor's words. She was noble and decent, and she spoke and did things with dignity. I always despised her for being stingy. I despised her for always scolding me. I even despised the guilty look in her eyes every time she saw me. She was always like that. She felt that I was in prison because of her. She felt that it was because she abandoned me and didn't take good care of me that I went down the wrong path. Actually, it wasn't like that. Su Peijian closed her eyes and said, "She was actually a very traditional and very pitiful woman. She just loved me. She just didn't know how to love me. When I came out of prison, she asked me what I wanted every day. She didn't have a car and couldn't bear to, but she bought me a car. She actually didn't know anything about cars. She heard that a Ferrari was good, so she bought a Ferrari. She didn't even think about whether it was suitable or not. She still does. I said I would give her a driver, but she didn't want it. She likes to go out in her own car every day. I treated her very badly, really." Su Peijian held Ling Jing's clothes, and her eyes were a little hot. "Do you know? I really didn't treat her well at all. But she never minded. She always felt that she wasn't good enough. She felt that it was all because of her. Su Peijian couldn't go on. She thought about it seriously. In the past 2 years, Xiang Kaiping had really given everything to her. But how much did she give back? If anything happens to her, I really won't forgive myself for the rest of my life. Tears blurred her eyes. Ling Jing looked at her and reached out to hold her tightly in her arms. It's okay. She won't blame you. She loves you. She loves you. So she won't think about these things. Really? Yes. Ling Jing patted her back. All mothers are the same. Su Peijian's eyes were misty with tears. No matter how strong she was, she couldn't overcome the weakness in her heart. Xiang Kaiping was one of her weaknesses. She was separated from her daughter for the first half of her life. She finally found her daughter, but she wasn't close. She had even despised her before. Am I a terrible daughter? No. Ling Jing looked at her and raised her hand to wipe away the tears in her eyes. You are a very good daughter. Really? Yes. Ling Jing nodded. I think Andy thinks so too. She will think that you are arrogant. Su Peijian didn't say anything. She had always been a very calm and rational person. After being comforted by Ling Jing, her emotions slowly calmed down. After calming down, she realized that the position she was in with Ling Jing now was, the two of them were leaning against each other. Her hands were still holding the front of Ling Jing's dress, and Ling Jing's hands were around her body. Su Peijian suddenly blushed. She stepped back a little. Ling Jing clasped her waist tightly, not letting her break free and leave. Ling Jing. I seem to remember saying that. With Ling Jing around, Su Peijian didn't have to worry about the rest. They arranged for him to be in a single ward, and then hired a nurse. Not long after, Gu Xiu brought them lunch. Xiang Kaiping was still under anesthesia, so she did not wake up. Su Peijian didn't have much of an appetite, but under Ling Jing's supervision, she managed to eat some. After lunch, the doctor came to see her again. He said that she was old and might wake up later, but it would be fine. Su Peijian thanked the doctor and continued to stay by Xiang Kaiping's bed. This time, Xiang Kaiping really scared her. She thought that she would rather hire 2 more people, so that something like this wouldn't happen again. Here, drink some water. Ling Jing's voice sounded very gentle at this time, completely different from the coldness when he threatened her just now. Su Peijian glanced at him and took the cup from his hand. When she took it, Ling Jing didn't let go of her immediately. She looked at him, and he was also looking at her. Under her gaze, he let go of her hand, bent down and looked at her. Drink my water, and you are mine. Boring. Knowing that Xiang Kaiping was fine, Su Peijian wasn't as nervous as before. Boring? Ling Jing tilted his head and bit her earlobe. Then do you want to do something interesting to talk about? Ling Jing, Su Peijian called him, and then lowered her voice. Are you crazy? They were in the ward, and Xiang Kaiping was still sleeping. Yes, I'm crazy. You made me crazy. Ling Jing bit her earlobe again. She stared at him in pain. He tilted her chin up. Woman, I have never seen a woman like you, cold-blooded and heartless. I was thinking that if you appeared in front of me again, I would definitely not let you go. Every day, I thought about how to make you come to me. I thought about it so much that I was going crazy. But your heart is made of ice. You can actually be so cold-blooded that you don't come to see me, don't come to me. So, do you think I will still let you go? Ling Jing opened his mouth and held her earlobe in his mouth. This time, even if I go crazy, I will drag you along with me. He was really crazy. Su Peijian looked at him, not knowing how to respond to his words. Afraid? Who's afraid? So you're scared? Ling Jing, I'm not that timid. Then why don't you respond to me? Why should I respond to you? Su Peijian realized that she was actually arguing with Ling Jing, and her expression turned ugly. Get out. This is my mother's ward. Yes, it's your mother, but she's also my mother-in-law. Who are you calling mother-in-law? Su Peijian's face turned green. I'm calling whoever it is. Ling Jing smiled, especially when he found out that Su Peijian's sadness had disappeared because of him. Instead, she felt helpless and angry. Shameless rogue. Su Peijian really hated that she was too well educated and learned too little to swear. Get out. This is my mother's ward. You are not welcome here. Why me? Ling Jing sat down next to Su Peijian. I asked Gu Xiu to arrange this ward before. As soon as Su Peijian entered the hospital and found out that something had happened to Xiang Kaiping, she was stunned. She didn't care about her own condition at all, let alone arranging a ward. Her calmness, which she had always been proud of, was indeed useless today. In fact, there was one thing that she hadn't realized yet, and was unwilling to admit. That was because Ling Jing was there. That inexplicable sense of security made her feel at ease to trust Ling Jing, and believe that he would do other things well. In fact, Ling Jing had indeed done it. He had taken care of all these things. She could just stay in this ward and watch over Xiang Kaiping. She didn't speak. Ling Jing raised the corner of his mouth, revealing a smile of success. In the evening, when Xiao Yi packed up and brought things to them, Xiang Kaiping finally woke up. As soon as she woke up, she saw Su Peijian. Peijian? You. Mom, how are you? Hearing Xiang Kaiping's somewhat hoarse voice, she quickly got up and turned to look at Xiao Yi. She was about to ask her to pour a glass of water, but Ling Jing had already poured a glass of warm water and put it in her hand. She glanced at Ling Jing, picked up the glass of water, and walked to Xiang Kaiping. Mom, drink some water first? After feeding Xiang Kaiping the glass of warm water, she had just put her hand back, but Ling Jing had already taken the glass. Su Peijian looked at Ling Jing deeply. Not only was she looking at her, but Xiang Kaiping was also looking at her. Jing? Why are you here? Mom, how are you? Auntie, you were hit by a car. Do you remember? Ling Jing smiled and stood beside Su Peijian. The doctor said you had acute appendicitis. He has already performed surgery on you. How are you feeling now? Me? Appendicitis? Xiang Kaiping thought for a moment. It seemed to be true. At that time, she was going to pick up oranges, but as soon as she bent down, her stomach started to hurt. Later, a car came, and she instinctively stepped back. She was fine, but her hand was bruised. Later, her stomach started to hurt even more. She didn't know what happened after that. I'm fine. Maybe the anesthesia hasn't worn off yet. I don't feel any pain now. Xiang Kaiping's words made Su Peijian breathe a sigh of relief. She was about to speak when Xiang Kaiping didn't forget her question. Jing, why are you here? Xiang Kaiping looked at Ling Jing and then at Su Peijian, who was standing next to him. Auntie, when you were in the car accident, I happened to be with Peijian. As soon as I heard, I came over. You're with Peijian? Did this together mean what she thought it meant? Mom, you don't listen to that nonsense, okay? Yes. Ling Jing smiled as if a little embarrassed. Auntie Peijian and I, we actually... Peijian, you? Xiang Kaiping looked at Ling Jing. Su Peijian had clearly said that she wasn't interested in him before. How did the two of them get together after she was hit by a car? Mom, don't listen to his nonsense. It's not like that. Auntie, it's my fault. Ling Jing lowered his head, and there was a hint of bitterness in his expression. I was driven out by my father. Now I have no home and no job. It's understandable that Peijian feels that I don't deserve her. Su Peijian stared at Ling Jing with her eyes wide open. Could he be any more nonsense? Peijian? Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Peijian, but she didn't doubt Ling Jing's words. Su Peijian grew up in the Su family, so she had high standards, but Peijian, Ling Jing is a good girl. He can slowly earn his career and so on. You. Mom. Su Peijian wanted to refute, but seeing Xiang Kaiping's weak and pale face, she said, Mom, you should rest first. You just had an operation. You need more rest. No. You and Jing, I support Jing. If you don't like him, it's fine. If you like him, don't look at those external conditions for the time being. Xiang Kaiping had just had an operation, but in her opinion, her health was not as important as her daughter's happiness. Mom, it's not what you think. It's really not. Ling Jing put one hand on Su Peijian's shoulder, looked at Xiang Kaiping and sighed. Originally, I took the money to open a bakery, but Peijian doesn't seem to like it. I'm planning to do something else. Chapter 890. His voice was very soft, but Su Peijian immediately blushed. What? Was that Xiaoya's voice? When she looked at Xiang Kaiping again, her understanding gaze made her feel uncomfortable. Mom! Don't say it, I understand. Seeing Su Peijian's red lips, what else could she not understand? She thought that Su Peijian was really willing, but she didn't know that they were just quarreling. Look, her mouth was swollen. One could imagine how intense it was. Xiang Kaiping had an expression that said, "Don't say it, I understand." Su Peijian's explanation was stuck in her throat, and she couldn't say a word. Ah, come here. Su Peijian wanted to stop her, but Ling Xiang had passed. Su Peijian wanted to stop him. Xiang Kaiping held his hand with a warm expression. Peijian is actually a good child. Auntie, I know. She's stubborn and a little hot-tempered. You have to be tolerant. That's only natural. Ling Xiang smiled. If I don't tolerate her, who should I tolerate? Good. You're a good child too. I know. Xiang Kaiping patted the back of Ling Xiang's hand with relief. The back of Ling Xiang's hand. It was a scene of a kind mother and filial son. Su Peijian was speechless. Forget it. Let him be. However, when she heard the next topic, she couldn't help it. You don't know. I've always regretted not watching Peijian grow up. It's okay, Auntie. You can accompany her every day now. I know. But a miss is a miss. I'm afraid there's no way to make up for this regret in this life. Yes, Ling Xiang retorted. When Peijian has a child, you can watch the child grow up. Won't that make up for this regret? Yes. Xiang Kaiping suddenly became happy, and her eyes lit up. She felt as if her body didn't hurt anymore. You don't know, I can like children. Peijian's sister has 2 children at home, a boy and a girl. They're very cute. Okay, Peijian and I will have a pair for you to play with. Su Peijian sat behind the two, trying hard to control her expression. Was that child meant to be played? 2-inch, I'm not greedy. Xiang Kaiping waved her hand. I like both boys and girls. As long as she's willing to give birth, even if it's just one, I'll be happy. I will, Auntie, don't worry. Su Peijian. I didn't hear anything. Auntie, when the time comes, we'll have 2, a boy and a girl. If one isn't enough, we'll have 2 until you're satisfied. Don't make me laugh. I still have wounds. Look at me talking too cheerfully. To tell you the truth, I also quite like children. Hurry up and rest. Take good care of yourself. When the time comes, you will have the strength to help me and Peijian take care of the child. Su Peijian. Appendectomy was considered a minor surgery. Even if Xiang Kaiping was getting on in years, Su Peijian and Ling Guang would not be able to help her. He was worried and wanted her to stay for a few more days. She couldn't stay in the hospital forever. The weather warmed up. Xiang Kaiping stayed in the hospital for a full 9 days. God knew how many resources had been wasted. She felt that it was okay, and agreed to let her leave the hospital. Xiang Kaiping didn't want trouble, so Su Peijian didn't tell Su Qingsang and the others about her hospitalization. From the time she was admitted to the time she was discharged, only they knew. However, Xiang Kaiping was very satisfied. Because she stayed in the hospital for a few days, she felt that her relationship with her daughter was much closer. It didn't matter that they were close. Ling Kaiping ran around every day. She saw it, and was satisfied in her heart. This son-in-law, good, it was really good. It couldn't be better. Especially Ling Kaiping. Coupled with Su Peijian's good looks, Xiang Kaiping couldn't help but start thinking about how beautiful their child would be. As soon as she returned home, she began to be restless. She bought some wool, and began to prepare to knit a sweater for the baby. Su Peijian began to busy herself again after Xiang Kaiping was discharged. Xiang Kaiping's accident this time had frightened her, even though she had Ling Xiaoyu. Although Ling Kaiping ran around, she almost stayed in the hospital whenever she had time. His company had delayed a lot of work. These days, she didn't know what Ling Kaiping was busy with. No one came to disturb her, so she had time to finish her work. However, when she returned home one day, she saw Xiang Kaiping knitting a sweater. There was only a small circle, and it looked very small. Mom, didn't you just leave the hospital? Why are you knitting? Rest more if you have nothing to do. The doctor told you to rest. Didn't you hear him? I can't sit still. Xiang Kaiping waved her hand. Rest? What rest? Such a small incision, it's a joke. Su Peijian sat there and wanted to say something. Looking at the light yellow wool flying up and down, she asked casually. Knitting a scarf? So small? You child, why are you knitting a scarf? If you want to knit, you should knit a scarf. Xiang Kaiping couldn't hide the smile on her face when she thought about the fat grandson she could hold in her arms in the future. I knitted this for my little grandson. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but this light yellow is very good. Both boys and girls can wear it. For a moment, Su Peijian thought she was hearing things. Ling Kaiping? Didn't they all leave? Why was Xiang Kaiping still in her dream? Mom, this. Why didn't I know? Don't worry. Ling said that he was kicked out by his parents. Even if he goes back in the future, he won't let them take care of the child. So he asked me to help. I will definitely help. He has already thought about it. He is afraid that I will be tired. So he said that he will hire a nanny when the time comes. I just need to look after my eldest grandson every day. Xiang Kaiping had already begun to imagine what would happen after Su Peijian gave birth. Su Peijian's lips moved. Looking at Xiang Kaiping, who was immersed in her imagination, she finally swallowed the rest of the words. As long as you are happy. Anyway, she had not recovered yet. She was a patient, so she didn't mind. As for whether she would get married or have children, wasn't it up to her? Happy, of course I am. Xiang Kaiping's hands didn't stop moving, and the smile on her face didn't stop. I never dreamed that I would be able to wait until today. Great, that's great. Su Peijian didn't know how to respond. Forget it, she couldn't continue the conversation. By the way, Xiang Kaiping glanced at Su Peijian when she was about to get up. The wedding date? It depends on you. I think it's already March, and I think May is a good day. It's neither hot nor cold. Otherwise, why do so many people choose Labor Day to get married? Why don't you set it for Labor Day? Su Peijian looked at Xiang Kaiping and said with a fake smile. The Qingming festival seems to be closer. Child, how can you say that? Who would pick the Qingming festival? If you don't like it, I will find a master later and tell him which day is better for you. Su Peijian's forehead began to hurt. She held it and forced herself to squeeze out a smile. Mom, I was joking. Then about the marriage. Mom. Su Peijian swallowed and said calmly. Of course, we have to be careful when it comes to the wedding. I will choose carefully, seriously and carefully. That's good, that's good. Remember to choose a day that is good for both you and him. You know you can't be careless when it comes to marriage. Xiang Kaiping was satisfied. Su Peijian turned her face, and the smile on her face disappeared. Ling, you bastard. Su Peijian left the living room and took out her phone with a headache. She wanted to call Ling. She thought about it and decided not to. Why should she bother with that bastard? But if she didn't agree, what could he do? She calmed herself down and decided to ignore him. The next day, Su Peijian started to get busy when she went to the company. A few days ago, when she was taking care of Xiang Kaiping in the hospital, the company held a routine event about International Women's Day. The effect was good. Then a counter's contract expired. It was a jewelry brand, and it was also a top brand. According to the contract, the rent was going to increase this year. However, the person in charge of the company didn't show up. Su Peijian had always been a straightforward person. She gave them a notice that they could either renew the contract or leave. However, for some reason, she didn't receive a reply from the other party until she got off work. Su Peijian decided to go there herself. It was almost time to get off work, and there were more people in the department store than before. Su Peijian went downstairs and was about to go to the jewelry counter to take a look. She saw that the hall of the department store was full of roses. The roses were circled around a small heart-shaped display stand. There was a red carpet on it. It wasn't a very big stand, and there were roses in the middle. The red roses didn't look like they were for publicity. Instead, they looked like they were for a wedding. Su Peijian took out her phone and called Zhou Mei. Is there an event downstairs today? I don't think so. Usually, if someone wanted to hold an event or do any publicity in such a place, they had to get their consent. No, she didn't usually care about these small things. so she just asked. However, just as she was about to turn around and go to the jewelry store, she saw a drone suddenly appear in front of her. There was a box hanging under the drone. The box swayed with the body of the drone. The white body flew lightly in front of her, and she could hear a low buzzing sound in the air. She was shocked and took a step back. The plane flew a step forward. She frowned and took another step back. The drone took another step forward. Su-Peijian looked at the drone. No matter how ignorant she was, she could tell that it was trying to stop her. She couldn't help but turn around to look at the stage. Who was playing a prank? However, in the time she turned around, the drone flew towards the stage. Su-Peijian wanted to leave, but she saw the person who had appeared on the heart-shaped display take the small box from the drone. He let go of the drone and let it fly away. However, he held the box and walked towards Su-Peijian step by step. Su-Peijian stood there and didn't move. Chapter 891. Su-Peijian already knew what Ling Xiang was going to do. She knew what Ling Xiang was going to do. This madman, no matter what he wanted to do, he would never tell anyone in advance. He had always been able to do whatever he wanted. It was like that when they were together, when they broke up, and when he proposed. Right now she couldn't blame Ling Xiang. He made his own decision. She could only watch him walk towards her step by step. Ling Xiang? He held the small velvet box in his hand and stared at Su-Peijian. I know I'm not good enough at many things, but I will work hard. I will try to do better. I can't promise you that I'll love you forever, because forever is too long. But I can promise that I will love you as long as I live. I also know that our beginning wasn't pleasant, so I want to give each other a chance, a new start. My name is Ling Xiang. I'm 25 years old. Su-Peijian, I love you. Please marry me. He was talking about Ling Xiang. There was nothing else, just a simple Ling Xiang. She opened the box in front of her. The ring inside was dazzling, and the huge diamond was very dazzling. Ling Xiang. He knelt down on one knee and raised the ring. Give me a chance and give you a chance. Marry him, marry him. From Ling Xiang. People surrounded him as soon as the proposal began. Now he had reached the pinnacle. It was after work, but there were also many housewives and office workers. Many young girls' eyes were already shining. They clapped their hands. Su-Peijian looked at the ring and wasn't in a hurry to reach out. She was surrounded by the voices of marrying him, but she wasn't moved. She just stared at Ling Xiang. She didn't speak, but the expression in her eyes. Ling Xiang understood. He pointed to the side. He pointed to the side where someone was filming with a mobile phone. Today I'm kneeling here. Every word I say is my oath. I'm responsible for every word I say. He turned his gaze and looked at Su-Peijian. You can save the video. If I don't do it, you can do whatever you want to me. I can also sign a contract. All the property under my name will belong to you. Enough. Su-Peijian could already hear the cheers around her. Get up. Promise me first. Get up first. If you don't agree, I won't get up. I can keep kneeling here. Marry him, marry him. The voices around her continued. Su-Peijian bit her lip. He glared at Ling Xiang. This was her workplace, yet he put himself in such a position. Are you forcing me? No, Ling Chen said. Shaking his head, he said. I'm trying to make you recognize your own heart. I know you love me. An egomaniac. Since you're so confident. Su-Peijian was so angry that she almost laughed. Well, if you kneel here for 3 days, I'll promise you. All right. Ling? He nodded and didn't object. However, Su-Peijian heard boos from the crowd. There were also many whispers. The general content was not difficult to guess. Ling. He couldn't care less. Flowers were blooming in his heart. He only felt that the whole world was filled with pink bubbles. He was so happy that he wanted to get high. Very quickly, he turned from passive to active. Su-Peijian was out of breath from his kiss. In the end, she still cared about where she was and gently pushed his chest. Ling. He let go of her and hugged her again. His chin was pressed against her neck, and there was a touch of excitement in his seemingly smiling eyes. Woman, you are mine. It was a very simple announcement. From now on, Su Peijian could no longer think about escaping. Su Peijian's body stiffened for a moment, but only for a moment. Soon, she relaxed. She was his, and in turn he was hers. In this life, she was sure that she would never fall for a second man. She was also sure that she had feelings for Ling. Indeed, she couldn't let go of him. Since that was the case, why should she be conflicted? Let it be. Very good. On the other side, someone on Weibo posted the scene of Ling. The proposal scene was uploaded. Soon the whole Rong city knew about it. Su Qingsang and Su Qinghui were fine. Su Peijian always had her own ideas. If it was her own idea, there was nothing to say. However, the Ling family was a different story. Ling Xian looked at the video in front of him, and then looked at the investigation information about Su Peijian on the table. He felt suffocated and angry. What is this? What is going on? He looked at Lu Xiyun. I can't control him if he wants to get married, right? Our son is grown up. He has his own ideas. Don't interfere too much. How can I not interfere? Ling Xian was very angry. Have you seen this woman's experience? What is that? She has been in prison. Ling, do you agree to marry such a woman? What's the point of me not agreeing? Lu Xian looked at him. I want to disagree, but Ling gave me this chance. You gave me this chance, didn't you agree? I don't agree anyway. Ling Xian was furious. A woman who has been in prison wants to marry into our family? Dream on. Don't talk about going to jail so easily. How many of your subordinates have been to jail before? How can that be the same? I don't see anything different. Lu Xiyun poured a cup of tea and placed it in Ling Xian's hand. Don't be angry. Our son said last time that he doesn't care about this property. I've seen that girl. She's not bad. She can also make money. Don't think that you don't agree. Don't forget. She has someone behind her. So what? You what? Lu Xiyun saw that he didn't drink the tea she poured, but she wasn't angry. If you want to object, continue to object. Anyway, I don't have time to object. I'm still waiting to drink my wife's tea and hold my grandson. What do you mean? Do you want me to go to their house and propose marriage? Let them agree to marry their daughter to Ling Xian? If you can really do that, maybe your son will come back. It's best if he doesn't come back. If you have the ability, don't come back for the rest of your life. Ling Xian went upstairs in exasperation. Lu Xiyun looked at the old man's angry back and calmly took a sip of tea. Then, she asked the servant to bring out the yellow history. She had to choose a good day. Su Peijian sat in the car and looked at Ling Xian, who couldn't stop smiling. She was a little speechless. Can you stop smiling? I can't. I'm happy. Su Peijian resisted the urge to roll her eyes. I said it was okay. I only agreed to marry you. I didn't promise you when the wedding will be held. If I'm not satisfied with your performance, I can go back on my word at any time. Don't worry. There won't be a chance for you to go back on your word. Ling Xian. As he spoke, he looked at the red light in front of him and stopped the car. He leaned over and kissed Su Peijian on the cheek. I will prove it to you tonight. How satisfied I can make you. Ling Xian. Was she talking about that? I said that I'll try my best to make you satisfied. What are you thinking? Of course, if you want to be satisfied in that aspect, I can also do that. Don't worry, I guarantee that you'll be satisfied. Ling Xian? Su Peijian blinked and her lips moved. Forget it. In terms of shamelessness, she was really no match for him. However, she suddenly thought of something. Ling, you're only 25 years old? How many years younger than her? She had always thought that he was only a year or two younger than her. So what? A woman is 3 years older, holding a golden brick. Don't you like it? It's useless if you don't like it. It's too late. He saw that Su Peijian still wanted to say something. Ling Xian leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Don't worry. I've checked. A woman is the most suitable combination. Because in a few years, when you're 30 years old and 40 years old, I, who is a few years younger than you, will be able to satisfy you better. Ling Xian. Could he not drag everything into that matter? I'm here. Wife, what can I do for you? Don't call me wife. Also, the light is green. Ling Xian? He stepped on the accelerator. Wife. Ling? You're so annoying. Call me hubby. I won't. Call me hubby. Quick. I said I won't. Not yet anyway. Let's see if you'll call me that tonight. Chapter 892. Willing Chinese Network. I will update my dear Mr. Hua as soon as possible. Su Peijian looked at the beautifully printed invitation card in front of her. She frowned. She had basically never asked about the wedding. Xiang Kaiping met with Lu Xiyun a few times and was almost done with the arrangements. Because of the wedding company, Su Peijian and Ling Jing didn't need to worry about these things. This was especially true for Lu Xiyun and Xiang Kaiping. It was the first time they were holding a wedding for their children, so they wanted it to be as grand as possible. In the beginning, the two of them had their differences. Xiang Kaiping favored the Chinese style. On the other hand, Lu Xiyun wanted a Western-style wedding. When he asked Ling Jing and Su Peijian, the two of them didn't care about the wedding at all. They just said that it was up to them to decide. Ling Jing was even more exaggerated. If you like it, let's have a Chinese-style one and a Western-style one. Are you crazy? If that was the case, Su Peijian would be the first to object. In the end, Lu Xiyun and Xiang Kaiping finally chose a compromise. At noon, the wedding would be held in a cathedral in Rong City. There was a lawn outside the cathedral. After the wedding, there was a buffet on the lawn. In the evening, the banquet would be held in a 5-star hotel in the city, and the friends and relatives of both sides would be invited. After the wedding was settled, Su Peijian only asked about the details and didn't interfere much. She wasn't free. She was very busy because she planned to go on her honeymoon. He had to take care of business matters in advance. However, half a month before the wedding, when it was time to deliver the invitations, Su Peijian looked at the invitation in front of her and suddenly felt a headache coming on. There was nothing much to say about Xiang Kaiping. They were all colleagues from the company and neighbors. A few friends. However, as for Su Qinghui, if she were to get married, the Su family would definitely invite him. Since the Su family was coming, Li Qianxue was naturally included. If Li Qianxue came, then Xiang Kaiping. What happened to you? When Ling Jing got home, she saw Su Peijian sitting in front of the window, looking unhappy. Mom said you didn't eat much for dinner. What happened? Ling Jing had a social engagement tonight and didn't get home so soon. So when he came back, he had already eaten. Go away. Su Peijian was annoyed and did not want to talk to Ling Jing at all. What's wrong with you? Why are you so angry? That's how angry I am. If you're impatient, you can leave. Su Peijian replied without hesitation. Ling Jing stopped in his tracks. After thinking about it, he turned around and poured a glass of water for Su Peijian. Drink some water to cool down. I won't drink it. I said hurry up and leave. I don't want to talk to you. Su Peijian waved her hand, and the cup in Ling Jing's hand flew out and fell to the ground. There was only a squeal on the thick carpet. Water splashed out, but it didn't break. Su Peijian was taken aback by her own actions. Looking at Ling Jing, who seemed to be in a daze, she became more and more annoyed. Without thinking, he walked over to the bed and said, I'm very annoyed. Just ignore me. Ling Jing watched as Su Peijian slept on the bed and pulled the blanket up to cover her head. She looked as if she didn't want to talk to anyone. He picked up the cup and put it aside. He walked over to the bed and sat down. He reached out and gently reached under the blanket to hold her hand. Are you okay? I'm fine. I just want to sleep. Go away. She wanted to pull her hand back, but Ling Jing wouldn't let her. Ling Jing glanced at the invitations on the table. There were still many unsigned names on them. He withdrew his gaze and squeezed Su Peijian's hand. You want to invite an aunt? Are you afraid that your mother won't agree? After he got together with Su Peijian, he had a meal with Su Qinghui and his wife. Ling Jing could roughly see Li Qianxue's personality, even if they only had a meal together. Su Peijian didn't speak, and Ling Jing knew that he had guessed correctly. You must invite Aunt Li to your wedding. If you don't feel comfortable, I'll help you. Silence. Su Peijian didn't speak under the blanket. Ling Jing lifted the blanket for her a little and said, Aren't you afraid that you'll get sick with your head wrapped like this? She still didn't speak. Ling Jing patted the back of her hand and said, Okay. Let me handle the bad guys. Just say that it's my idea. I promise I'll help you invite both mothers. Is that okay? Su Peijian looked up at him with slightly red eyes. Okay, it's not a big deal for you to do this. Su Peijian pursed her lips into a straight line. In fact, she just wanted to please both sides, but she was afraid that neither side would please. After all that had happened before, she didn't want to hurt anyone. She had a bad temper, but her heart was softer than anyone else. Ling Jing held her hand and kissed it. But wife, have you noticed that you've been a little grumpy lately? What do you mean? Su Peijian, who was still touched, immediately exploded. Are you saying that I have a bad temper? No. Ling Jing explained with a smile. It doesn't matter how bad my wife's temper is. But wife, haven't you noticed that you've been different recently? What's different? Su Peijian glared at Ling Jing, as if he dared to say that she had become bad-tempered and unlikable, she would immediately kick him out. Wife. Ling Jing lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. Haven't you noticed that your good friend hasn't been here for 2 months? Su Peijian was stunned for a moment. She had been very busy recently, so she really hadn't noticed. Ling Jing, however, knew. Look, you've been sleepy lately, and your appetite is always bad. You don't want to eat. Your mother indulges you, saying that the weather is getting hot, and you have no appetite. But I think you're pregnant. Pregnant women were always a little grumpy. It was understandable that their personalities were volatile. What did you say? Su Peijian lowered her head and looked at her stomach. It was flat, and now there was nothing there. You said I'm pregnant? Yes. That's impossible. Don't you always have protection? Protection can't guarantee 100%. What's more, when we just made up, sometimes we were excited, but we didn't take care of anything else. Su Peijian didn't speak. Ling Jing picked her up. Okay. Whether it is or not, we'll know when we go for a checkup tomorrow. Don't talk. Su Peijian closed her eyes. Let me be alone. She didn't expect to get pregnant so soon. Before, she heard Xiang Kaiping talk about having grandchildren every day. She even thought that it would be okay to give birth 2 years later. Okay, be quiet. Ling Jing's tone was very gentle, but if Su Peijian looked up at this time, she would see a flash of pride in Ling Jing's eyes. It was a look that seemed like a trick had succeeded. I haven't thought about giving birth yet. Su Peijian lowered her head, feeling a little conflicted. But you already have one. Ling Jing coaxed her. Are you going to abort it? Let me tell you first, your mother and aunt won't agree. Su Peijian was silent, and the twins in Su Qingsong's family flashed through her mind. I don't know how to take care of children, and I can't take care of them well. She pushed Ling Jing. She always felt that it was a little scary to take care of a little life. I don't need you to take care of them. My mother and your mother will help. Besides, can't you hire a nanny? If you don't want to see them, you can hire a nanny. Although that was what she said, in the past, Li Qianxue always held her in her arms and carried her all the time. Okay. It's not confirmed yet. Ling Jing held her shoulders. If there's anything, we'll talk after we go for a checkup tomorrow, okay? Su Peijian looked up at him. Ever since Ling Jing got together with her, he had been really good to her. He didn't seem angry when she lost her temper for no reason just now. Aren't you angry? Why should I be angry? I yelled at you, and I even broke the cup. You didn't. Ling Jing smiled. Besides, it's just a cup. You're the most important thing. Su Peijian didn't speak again. She was indeed very annoyed during this period of time. Inexplicably annoyed. In fact, she didn't need to go for a checkup. When Ling Jing said that, she probably felt it. I'm just very annoyed. I don't know what I'm annoyed about. I know. Ling Jing hugged her and comforted her very carefully. Also my mother and aunt. I'm very afraid that they will be unhappy when they are together, because they don't like each other. But I want them to come when I get married. Come. They will all come. Don't worry. Ling Jing was very patient. If they don't come, I'll invite them. Don't worry. They will give me face. What face do you have? Isn't it my face? Yes. It's your face. But don't worry, leave this matter to me. I guarantee that everyone will be happy, okay? He had finished speaking. Su Peijian had nothing to say. Ling Jing, why aren't you angry? Why should I be angry? Ling Jing kissed her on the lips. You are my wife. I love you. Why would I be angry with you? Su Peijian looked into his eyes. His beautiful almond-shaped eyes were filled with her shadow. She pursed her lips and finally reached out to hug Ling Jing. Ling Jing. Yes. I love you too. Yes. I know. Su Peijian closed her eyes. She still had a headache and was still uncomfortable. However, she said, let's go to the hospital tomorrow for a checkup. Yes, I'll listen to you. I'm hungry. What do you want to eat? Anything. Anything is fine. Okay, I'll go cook a bowl of noodles for you, okay? Okay. Ling Jing. Yes. I have a bad temper. Will you find me annoying one day? No. Ling Jing kissed the top of her head. I'm just afraid that you won't vent your temper on me. It's okay. I understand. Su Peijian's temper had always been with people who were close to her. Moreover, she was pregnant now. She didn't want to be like this. Ling Jing understood. I'm sleepy. Su Peijian yawned. But I'm so hungry. Then let's eat something first and then go to sleep. Yes. Su Peijian finally finished acting and was done fooling around. After eating a bowl of noodles, she fell asleep first. Ling Jing was left looking at her sleeping face, thinking of her last guilty look. He felt a little proud in his heart. He kissed her on the forehead and then hugged her to sleep. Acting was good. The more he acted, the better. If he acted too much, other men wouldn't be able to stand it. He could only be entangled with him for the rest of his life. The next day, Ling Jing took her to the hospital early for a checkup. It was just a pregnancy checkup, but Ling Jing arranged a specialist for her. He was very careful. From the ultrasound to the blood test, he did a routine checkup. One by one, he accompanied her the whole time. In the end, when he got the results, the smile on his face didn't stop. Honey, you're really pregnant. It had been more than 2 months. Yes. Su Peijian looked at the pregnancy test report, and for the first time, a strange emotion appeared in her eyes. Her hand subconsciously touched her upper abdomen. There was a small seed slowly growing there. It was really magical. Ling Jing, do you like boys or girls? I like both. Ling Jing looked at her. As long as it's your child, even if it's a ball, I like it. You're the one who gave birth to a ball. Su Peijian glared at him, but she couldn't hide the smile in her eyes. Let's go. Go home and tell Mom the news. Okay. Xiang Kaiping was excited to know that Su Peijian was pregnant. The smile on her face didn't stop at all. Su Peijian originally wanted to tell Li Qianxue that she was going to ask, but when she thought that Ling Jing said he would solve this matter, she simply didn't care. In the middle, she told Su Qingsang, Su Qinghui, and Li Qianxue the good news of her pregnancy. After receiving a lot of blessings, Li Qianxue and Su Qinghui went to her company to see her. They didn't go to her house, afraid that they would meet Xiang Kaiping. Therefore, she didn't know what to say about inviting Li Qianxue and the others to the wedding. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of the wedding. Su Peijian didn't listen to Xiang Kaiping and set the wedding in May. That would be too hasty. The wedding was set at the end of June. The weather in Rong City was not too cold or hot. Su Peijian was wearing the wedding dress that Ling Jing had specially ordered from Paris and waiting in the lounge. According to the procedure, Su Qinghui should hold her hand and send her to the hall later. She had left this matter to Ling Jing before. She didn't know if Ling Jing had told Su Qinghui. The time was soon up. She looked at the door of the lounge, and her heart skipped 2 beats. The door opened, and Su Qinghui walked in. He was wearing a dark suit today, and there was a hint of relief in his eyes. Peijian, Dad. Congratulations. Thank you, Dad. This is a gift for you. Su Qinghui handed a box to her. I prepared it with your mother. Thank you. It's almost time. Let's go out. Okay. Su Peijian nodded and didn't ask him if Li Qianxue was there. She could understand if she didn't come. However, she still hoped that Li Qianxue could come. Accompanied by Su Qinghui, the 2 flower girls held the tail of her wedding dress behind her. She slowly walked into the church, and all the guests inside stood up. She immediately spotted Xiang Kaiping, who was sitting at the very front, and Li Qianxue, who was sitting on the other side. Su Peijian's eyes were hot, and she was almost in tears. As if he knew what she was thinking, Su Qinghui patted the back of her hand. Today is a big day. Don't cry. Su Peijian suppressed her emotions and walked forward step by step, getting closer and closer to the front. The two most important people in her life, her two mothers, stood there, one on the left and one on the right, clapping and looking at her. She sniffed and didn't want the tears to ruin her makeup. She smiled and walked forward. On the stage, Ling Jing was already waiting. He reached out his hand to her. Darling, you're so beautiful. That small compliment made her mood improve a little. She took the initiative to put her hand on Ling Jing's. Su Qinghui stood next to him and looked at Ling Jing very seriously. I give my daughter to you. You must make her happy. I will. Thank you, Dad. The wedding march sounded, and they faced the priest together. Mr. Ling Jing, are you willing to marry Miss Su Peijian next to you? Love her and be loyal to her, no matter if she is poor, sick, or disabled, until she dies? Are you willing? I am. Miss Su Peijian, are you willing to marry Mr. Ling Jing next to you? Love him and be loyal to him, no matter if he is poor, sick, or disabled, until he dies? Are you willing? I am. Thousands of twists and turns. This sentence seemed to have been said thousands of times. Groom, bride, exchange rings. Groom, you may kiss the groom. Now I announce that you are legally married. Bless you. There was a warm applause under the stage. Su Peijian looked at Ling Jing's approaching face. Her excited emotions calmed down at this time. She had already decided on this man. So no matter what the future would be, she would walk with him. After the vows, there was a photo session of the bride and groom's family together. Su Peijian had never asked how Ling Jing told Li Qianxue and Xiang Kaiping. However, during the photo session, the two mothers stood on each side. Although they didn't talk to each other, there was no smell of gunpowder. It was a miracle for her. She couldn't help but turn her head to look at Ling Jing. He turned his face and kissed her on the lips. The moment the shutter was pressed, his voice was very soft. They all love you. Because they love you, they are willing to tolerate it. Because they love you, they are willing to let it go. Su Peijian's eyes were wet. Ling Jing hugged her and motioned for her to look at the camera. Don't cry. Today is a happy day. If you cry, I'm afraid the two mothers won't let me go. After the photo session, Xiang Kaiping stood to the side first. Some of the guests were her friends, and she had to entertain them. Li Qianxue looked in Xiang Kaiping's direction and held Su Peijian's hand. Congratulations. Thank you, Mom. Yes. Li Qianxue smiled, and her eyes were a little emotional. In the blink of an eye, you're going to get married. Although I'm not very satisfied with Ling Jing, since you've decided, I'm happy for you. Yes. If there's anything in the future, just tell me. If he makes you unhappy, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, Mom, I won't. Ling Jing changed his tune very quickly. Su Peijian glanced at her with a smile in her eyes. You're pregnant, so don't be too tired. I've already told your father to hire another person. Okay. Su Peijian knew that she was concerned about her, so she didn't object. Thank you, Mom. Silly child. Su Peijian sniffed and couldn't help but reach out to hug Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue patted her back gently, her eyes a little red. The daughter she had raised single-handedly had finally reached the day of her marriage. Sister, congratulations. Another voice rang out and Su Yusin came over. Thank you. Su Peijian let go of Li Qianxue and looked at the person beside Su Yusin. She looked a little familiar, as if she had seen her many years ago. Congratulations. The obedient-looking little girl also congratulated him softly. Su Peijian frowned slightly, and finally remembered who this little girl was. She looked at Su Yusin. She didn't expect that after going around in circles, they would still be together. It didn't matter if they had gotten lost midway. As long as the person by your side was the person you wanted to be with the most, it would be fine. She looked around. She loved those who loved her. All of them were here today. This was good. In fact, she was very happy. And she believed that this kind of happiness would last forever. Forever. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.